Come on, Charles. Don't get caught. Round 4. Definitely 3-0 Oliveira, but Chandler's still in it. Both guys looking fresher than I thought they'd be. Oh, God. Oh, God. Flying knee from Oliveira. Barely misses. Then they each land left hand. Oh. Chandler is swinging from his hips. Oh, Oliveira's going for another takedown. Working into a body lock. Chandler tries to scramble out of it. And he might get taken down again. Oliveira's working to his back. Hasn't gotten him down yet. Trying to throw a hook in. He got him down. He tripped him. That's crazy. Oliveira's out wrestling Chandler. Not like winning scrambles. He's out wrestling Chandler. Taking him down, shooting double legs, tripping him. So he's on top right now in the 4th round, a little over 3 minutes. But Chandler is going to be hell on wheels, dangerous as fuck in the 5th round. So we got to try to end this now. Let's go, Oliveira. You got to end this now. You got to end this now, Oliveira. He's got both hooks in, trying to flatten him out, looking for the choke. Come on, Oliveira. .230 left. He's got a body triangle. Come on, Charles.
Staying present in these compromising spots. He's doing a good job of defending.
2 minutes for Charles to get under the chin and finish him. Let's go, Charles.
If he could slide that left arm further through and clasp his hands together.
Let's go, Charles. Finish this shit. Chandler almost scrambled out, but Oliveira went with him. Still on his back. Chandler got a hook out at least.
Chandler's got to keep that left leg up and high and protect from that left hook. Charles Oliveira employing his
Come on, Charles.
more than we've seen in fights past. 4 takedowns on 9 attempts.
Minute 30 left. Get this choke. Get this choke.
In Michael's UFC career. Chandler's got to up. It's in. Second hook is in. He's trying to shake it off.
Come on, Charles. Come on, Charles. Chandler's trying to stand up with Charles on his back. Yep, another body triangle. He's on the jaw right now. He's going to try to crank that. He's not under yet. But he's on the chin. There we go. Now he's getting under. Now he's under. Now he's under. Squeeze, Charles. Squeeze. 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 Oh, Chandler got out. Oh, Chandler got out. 40 seconds left. Hopefully Oliveira's cardio holds up. You need Oliveira's cardio to hold up.
Well, the back defense work has been done by Chandler, and if you're fighting Charles Oliveira, you better do that work. But now, if Chandler makes it out of the next 5 seconds, he's 4 rounds of dominated down.
So Chandler is going to be going for broke. Going to be going for broke in this 5th round. This 5th round is going to have me sweating. Who's watching the fights? Anybody? Anybody think Stipe's got a chance tonight? Or Jones ends it early? Donnie Brasco. Oh, come on. Oliveira. Oliveira. Making me nervous, Oliveira. You're making me nervous, Oliveira. You're making me nervous, Charles. Not liking Charles's body language.
He's dead. He's dead. This is now a round for intelligence. You got to be very smart right now. Okay?
Come on, Charles. Let's finish this fight right here, Charles.
This high guard all the time. Keep your guard high all the time.
Let's go, Charles.
Is brought to you by Manscaped's Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, the official electric trimmer of UFC. Visit
Fifth round.
now.
Charles is up 4-0. Oliveira is definitely tired. Chandler looks fresh as can be, despite with having Oliveira on top of 4 rounds. Oh, almost landed a big knee, Oliveira. 4:30 left. Come on, Charles. Good calf kick by Charles. Just buckled Chandler's legs a little bit. Oh, finally, Chandler defended a takedown. Ooh, good right hand by Charles. Come on, Charles. Oof, oof, oof. Chandler swinging. Oh, Chandler landed. Oh my God, Chandler's landed a big right hand. Come on, Oliveira. Oh, Chandler overswung, and Oliveira went for a takedown. Got stuffed. Chandler's on top right now. Oh my God, punching him in the back of the head. Fuck, Charles is gonna be done. Charles is done. What the fuck is the ref doing? Literally, the ref just let Chandler punch Oliveira 6-7 times in the back of the head. Oliveira ate them. I guess is still conscious, but he's on bottom right now, not looking good. 3 minutes left. Oh my God, just hold on, Charles, please. Hold on, Charles. Hold on, Charles. Hold on, Charles. Charles re-guarded. He's got his guard back, but Chandler's swinging on top of him. And Oliveira does not look good on bottom. One punch, and this is not looking good. Not looking good for Charles right now. 2:40 left. Oh. Come on, Charles. 2:30 left. Oh, Charles just threw up a triangle. Oh, Chandler's going to get out of that. Or at least that lets you know Charles might be on autopilot, but he's still responding. 2:10. 2:10 left. Chandler needs a finish. There's no way that judges are going anywhere near a fight victory for him with the Oliveira was on top every round. Oliveira just needs to survive. Oh, knock it up. Knock it up. Now they're on the feet again. Charles kicked them off. Now they're both back up. Charles is not looking good. He's definitely wobbly. Chandler's definitely fatigued, but he's still swinging. Landed another left hand. Charles landed a little right hand. Chandler's waving him on. Oh, thank you. Charles, nice little duck under. And took him down again. Got his back. Oof. This shit had me sweating. Sweating. Chandler had this fight won. And this shit would have been crazy if he won a 5th round knockout. Minute left. Oh, there we go. Finish him now, Charles. Take that. Take that, Charles. Charles is looking for the rear naked choke. Chandler does a good job defending. Oliveira's still on his back. Let's go, Charles. Let's go, Charles. 30 seconds left. Chandler just stood up with Oliveira on his back. He's walking across the cage and just slammed him down. Oliveira stayed on top of him, though. He's trying to do it again. Now he's probably going to dive forward because falling back didn't work. He just jumped backwards again. He should have jumped forwards. Oof. That fight had me nervous as fuck, but the parlay is going to cash, baby. Let's go. Let's go. I definitely had a parlay with him finishing Chandler. That's not going to cash, but let's go, Charles.
Outstanding. What a fight. That was amazing. High drama. Never remember not being able to hear you guys quite like this.
Oof. Main event up next. That was drama.
Look at this right here. Push kick right to the knee. You can see Chandler go, ah. But that doesn't stop Michael Chandler.
Drama.
Beautiful right hand by Chandler. Hurts Oliveira.
Oh my goodness.
Another, look at this. Bang, right on the chin. The fact that Charles actually stood up was amazing. And then Chandler just empties the tank. Full on Iron Mike style. It just goes and gets him. He drops him. Goes about 40 punches right to the back of the head. But who's going to stop him? I mean, it's amazing that this fight is still happening. And this is the end.
That's crazy.
Michael Chandler. He's literally squatting Charles Oliveira from the bottom, getting up and just throwing himself backwards. He's doing anything in his power to try and get this man off of him. This was amazing. This is exactly what we do.
Oh, that fight had me sweating. How does Jones win this main event? What happens now in this main event? Chandler lost the decision. Oliveira 4-1, maybe 5-0. Let's see what they say.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. The judges score the contest 49-46, 49-46, and 49-45.
Yeah, so 4-1. They gave Chandler the 5th round. He rocked. He had Oliveira out, on his way out in the 5th round. That shit was close. But now the main event, Bones Jones. This is my dog. She's named after Joanna Jones-Jacek and John Jones. Her name is Joanna Jones-Jacek. Joanna Bones Jones-Jacek. Bones Jones. Bones Jones. I don't want to be balked at right now, Bones. Let me see. Bones. Okay. Bones Jones. That's tough, though, for Chandler. Chandler's done now. What does he do? I guess he waits for Conor. But Conor's never fighting. Conor might be going to jail. They might be taking Conor out the way they took out Tyson back in the 90s and Tupac. He might become a guest of the government. Who you want to see Oliveira fight next? I don't know what the fuck he said there, but we're going with Jones. Ali won a decision, yes. 49-46, 49-46, and 49-45. So at least one 10-8 round. This is Joanna Jones-Jacek. JoJo. Bones Jones. This is JoJo. Joanna. Joanna. You gotta love Chandler, though. Chandler always fights. Hopefully he goes, Conor McGregor! Yes, this is JoJo. Bones Jacek. It's named after Joanna Jones-Jacek and John Jones. She's a girl, though, so I couldn't name her John. Bones Jones. I wonder, the craziest thing, and they need to absolutely do it. They have Aspinall right there. They got to bring Aspinall in after the fight. Even if it's Jones and they're doing Jones dirty and he gets pissed off, they got to. They have to. Like I heard that they didn't want Aspinall at the press conference. They should have had Aspinall ask a question at the press conference. Like, hey, can I have the next fight? That's why Jones don't want to fight Aspinall. Everyone says he's ducking him. No, it's you could show up to work on Monday and you can make 10 million, or you could show up to work on Monday and make 2 million. Sure, you're making a million either way, making millions either way, but you're gonna go with the 10. And that the bigger money is in the Pereira fight. The same work, the same everything, a different opponent, probably a harder opponent, but same preparation, same everything. It's the same work schedule for less money if you're fighting Aspinall. But if the fans and everybody makes the Aspinall fight huge, like UFC's big off like Instagram numbers and stuff. So I don't even know if Aspinall has 1 million, but I know Pereira has like 5 million or 6 million. Pereira's headlined pay-per-views before. That's where Jones is saying, I want to fight Pereira and I want to fight the name of Alex Pereira and make money. But Aspinall is definitely the guy who should get the title shot. But fight's not worth as much money. I did like that Dana said that he has to fight Aspinall if he wins. Jones did say that if they pay him right, he'll fight Aspinall. So that might have been public negotiations by both people. Anybody think Stipe has a chance? Is Stipe going to pull off the upset? Is anybody calling a Stipe upset? It's past Joe's bedtime. Anybody think Jones gets upset tonight? Stipe's 42, hasn't fought in 4 years. Or 3 years, I think 4 years. Hasn't fought in a minute. I think they shouldn't have even made the interim belt, but I guess they had to make it for a pay-per-view because Jones was hurt. And then something that I also find crazy, everybody's saying how Jones is ducking Aspinall. Stipe ducked Aspinall too. Stipe could have fought Aspinall. Yes, puppy is cute. Joanna Jones Jacek. Bones Jones Jacek. I don't know if Charles can get past Islam though. That's the problem. If Arman wins versus Islam, I like Charles versus Arman, but Islam is just too big for him. Anybody thinks Stipe is pulling off the upset? It's got to be bittersweet though for DC. Like even DC right now is cutting a promo about how John Jones is about to fight. I was watching the thing where John Jones was on the morning weigh-in show and Cormier was interviewing him, and he's like, my head kicks. Once I cut my weight down, my head kicks were on. Stipe or Cormier had to be like, oh yeah, like the head kick you hit me in the head with. It's got to be tough for him to be interviewing John Jones. But yeah, now we're gonna get 15 minutes of highlights of both men. Both have very impressive highlight reels. So does anybody actually want to see Chandler versus Conor McGregor? I think the best fight they could do, especially at a higher weight class, and I don't think he should get fights like that either. So they should just put them against each other. Is they should do Jorge Masvidal versus Conor McGregor, 170. What's up, Da? But that's what they got to do. Conor McGregor versus Jorge Masvidal. Loser does not fight anymore. If they do Dan Hooker versus Conor, that's a tough fight for Conor. That might be Conor gets fucked up, and then where does he go from there? You got to give Conor. He could beat anybody because he's shown it in the past, but not this version of Conor. He's not walking on water anytime soon, so they got to give him a winnable fight. Oh, life doesn't get no better. Kids asleep, Ripper the Benjamin, and hopefully a good fight. Cerrone is coming back. This is true. He could fight Cerrone. Do you think we're going to get a good fight? I feel like Jones is going to end this quick. I'd have to think, especially with the training camp that he did, bringing in Gable Stevenson, bringing in Gordon Ryan, he's trying to take this down quick. He's not going to sit on the feet and give Stipe a chance. Granted, Stipe can wrestle, but he's not on Jones's level. I think the first time they lock up or clinch is going to tell a lot about the fight. Like the thing with Jones is Jones has been beating up the UFC heavyweight division for years in practice, training sessions all over the world. Every time that guys come to Jackson Wink and they get John Jones would fuck them up. Fresh off the couch, fresh off of a bender, and these guys were ranked in the top 10, top 15 in the UFC heavyweight division. So he's no stranger to fucking up heavyweights. Stipe does have a crazy chin. He got caught by Ngannou, but remember even parts of that fight, like especially in the first round of the last fight, he ate some big punches from Ngannou that you were like, oh shit. Granted, Ngannou did knock him out eventually. He ate some big punches. Jones don't hit that hard. I've seen that thing Schaub said, and I've heard Frank Mir say it too. That just Jones was that dude. And I know at one point, I knew a guy who trained at Jackson Wink used to tell me, he said a lot of those training sessions were closed. Like a lot of the gym wasn't there, but then a lot of times people would be there, and they said they saw him fuck up, knock out Arlovsky, fuck up Brennan Schaub, fuck up Travis Brown. Granted, you could say all these guys couldn't contend in today's UFC, but for the time, they were in the top 15. I know he did a lot of rounds with Frank Mir, fucked up Frank Mir. And whatever you see of Frank Mir in the fights, Frank Mir is like a gym legend. Frank Mir has always been one of those guys who's been very good in the gym. And something else that we can't have, we got to get one back for New York, is we can't have Jake Paul beat up Mike Tyson and then Stipe beat up John Jones. If Ohio back-to-back nights fucks up New Yorkers, that's crazy. Overeem was on the list too. Overeem tells a story about how he like hurt John in training, but maybe. I heard one story of a 185er spinning back kicking Jones, like a kickboxer, and hurting Jones to the body. That's the only time I've ever heard of Jones getting fucked up in training. And not only just big names, but all heavyweights. All heavyweights when John was at 205. And Stipe, this is a tough fight for Stipe because Stipe hasn't fought in 4 years. And the last time he fought, he got flatlined. And he got his leg he got like a wonky leg from that fight. Remember when Francis knocked him out, his leg like bent behind him? He's definitely in very good shape, Stipe. Like he wasn't doing nothing for 4 years. Stipe is entering the ring right now, cage. He is in the DraftKings Sportsbook prep zone. Who's that throwing Vaseline on? Cupman Hernandez. Come on, Bones. Stipe does look huge. Everyone I've spoken to thinks the Tyson fight was rigged. I don't think it was rigged. I just think Tyson's 58 and Jake Paul's Jake Paul. But I've seen every commentator or fan say that they thought it was rigged. I think they were throwing serious shots. Jake Paul was afraid of getting knocked out by Tyson, and Tyson was just trying to survive. Tyson also looked like he was on a wonky leg. Like his leg was fucked up going into that fight. This is crazy too for Jones. And even for Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, New York legend. John Jones, a New York legend. Considered both of them two of the baddest men to ever fight. Both from upstate New York. I think Jake Paul, after the fight too, said, "Oh, I started taking it easy on him. I wasn't." Jake Paul was swinging, trying to knock Mike Tyson out. At no point did it look like Jake Paul was taking it easy on him. Jake Paul did not want to get knocked out. Was afraid of, or very aware of getting knocked out in that fight. And just both guys were just not what we were expecting. People were putting Jake on a higher pedestal, expecting him to do more, and people were putting Tyson on a pedestal, expecting him to be Iron Mike. And both of them, like I saw a lot of people saying that they were pulling punches. They were just backing out of the pocket when they thought they got timed or thought they were about to get countered. The thing with that fight, it wasn't an exhibition, it's a pro fight. You can get arrested for rigging a professional fight. You can get federal, like, state charges from rigging a professional fight. Like, so if they rigged the fight, both of their purses could get held by the athletic commission and they both would not get paid. So pretty much for people to say it's rigged, everyone's involved. Everyone got paid off is what basically saying the fight is fixed. The commission, the fighters, the promotion, they're saying everyone, it makes more sense to do the fight legitimately, and that's what we got was that fight, 58-year-old Mike. I don't know about Jones by points. It's definitely possible, but I think this fight ends either Stipe by TKO or Jones by TKO or submission. More than likely, Jones by TKO or submission. Stipe hasn't fought in 4 years. There's never been a time in Stipe's career where he didn't fight for 4 years. Jones came off that layoff and now is right back in it. Or Jones is coming off an injury too here, but not 4 years off. I didn't bet on this fight. The odds were terrible. I had Jones sprinkled in some parlays, and I'm so confident in what? Jones not winning by points? I could see it, but I don't think it's likely. Yes, I was nostalgic hard. I was rooting for Mike, but I knew that Jake was, logic was Jake was going to win. Did not bet on that fight. Was not going to bet on that fight. And then it wasn't legal to bet on that fight in 8 states. I could see a second round TKO for somebody. I think, again, it all depends on what we get out of Stipe. Stipe hasn't fought in 4 years. We've never seen Stipe not have coming off a knockout loss and then taking 4 years off. Or 3 years off, however long it's been. It's been a while. So if Stipe is at all a little gun shy or pacing himself and John starts fucking him up. But even Jones, I think, didn't look too comfortable against Cyril Gane on the feet. At least 8 states, maybe more. It was definitely banned in New York. I know you could bet on it in Florida, but it was banned in New York. I think it was banned in New Jersey. A lot of the tri-state because they didn't like the rules. Also, because probably the sports books probably take a bath every time Jake Paul fights. Ugh. What we got? How's Jones win? How's Stipe win? I think so too. I think they're both going to be downloading, and I just think Jones is going to get off first. Ring rust is real. Even if you do prepare, like Dominic Cruz says, ring rust is real. And if you haven't been in this situation, and even longer, because I'm pretty sure when Stipe fought last time, it was in the Apex. So Stipe might experience a little adrenaline dump, but it's crazy. Fighting is always intangibles. Jones has been really feeling himself lately, especially coming into this fight. So that when you start thinking you're a god, that's usually the moment reality sets in. If not, I think he beats Aspinall, but if not here, then it might be Aspinall that fucking reality sets in and beats Jones. Father Time is undefeated in fighting, so you're going to lose at some point. Khabib wasn't going to retire undefeated. It would have got worse for GSP if he stayed going. It's just combat sports for the last 150 years. That's what happens. As you get old, you start losing fights. Your chin starts going, your speed starts going. Imagine that though. That would be like the most what would the word be? I don't even know what the word would be, but just if John Jones wins with 12-6 elbow, like his whole shit coming full circle. I don't know if Aspinall is a wrestler. I think he's a grappler. I don't know if he has a wrestling background, but yeah, he's fucking huge. John's big though too, so he's not that much smaller. Like I know he was saying he's 30 pounds smaller than Aspinall. I don't think he's 30 pounds smaller than Aspinall. Maybe like 20. I don't think Aspinall cuts weight to make 265. I think he's under the 265 limit. He's just at the higher end of it. I'm down for Tejeda and I'm down for Aspinall. I think Aspinall deserves it just because they gave him the interim belt. He doesn't have the resume. Like John does have valid points, but he's the champ. He's the interim champ. Aspinall's fast for a heavyweight. Usually heavyweights are like dopey, doughy, and slow. It's always dope to see a John Jones fight, though. This is like, granted, Mike Tyson in his heyday was more exciting, but when he was the baddest man on the planet, his fights were fucking amazing to watch. Right now, John Jones is the baddest man on the planet. Like, put him in with any heavyweight boxer, and he's going to walk out of the room. As I think, was that Dana who said that, or Joe Rogan? Like John, you have a puncher's chance to beat him. You got to also think this guy's been fighting over Hot Wheels cars with NFL players since he was a little kid. I think I saw that Tom has beaten 5 of the top 10 heavyweights, finished them all too. And that's big, finishing people. If you're winning decisions, but if you're finishing people, but finishes are big at heavyweight. Very common. Oh, here we go. Can Stipe pull off the upset, or is it John Bones Jones again? Yes, right after they both oiled up. If that came out ever, like, oh, well, there's something going on with Dana and John Jones and baby oil, people be like, I knew it. Oh, Stipe landed a right hand. Stipe is definitely on his bicycle trying to stick and move. Jones is plodding forward. The only thing of significance so far is Stipe landed a right hand, but John always had an iron chin. Always had a very good chin, John Jones. He's working low kicks right now, Jones. Good head movement from John Jones. Good body kick by Jones. Stipe's throwing, but I'm going to be honest, Stipe looks slow. Stipe's hands don't look fast right now. He's throwing, but he don't look fast. Like Jones sees what's coming at him. John's never been known for his head movement, but he looks like he's known for his head movement right now. He's moving his head a lot. Oh, John just tripped him. Took him down easily. Landed in side control. Landed an elbow. Stipe looks old and slow. Now he's on top. He's going to zap some of his energy, slow him down. Cormier hit him with some of the cleanest punches I've ever seen him hit with, and Cormier knocked everybody else out with those punches. John ate them. And then the mark against John is that he struggled with a couple of middleweights that moved up and a couple of lesser guys that maybe he wasn't motivated for. But the lower the weight classes, the more skilled the guy is. The higher the weight class, the more power they have, the less skilled they are. Oh, big elbows by Jones. He's sitting in half guard, landing some shots on Stipe. So now this too. This is not going to be good for Stipe's cardio, having not fought in 4 years. How much in practice was he getting put on his back? Even if he was working off his back, like starting there, it's not the same as being put there and having that little zap of, oh shit, I got taken down. I'm on bottom of John Jones. Another elbow. Stipe's surviving though. John just passed his half guard. Stipe definitely looks sleepy. He looks slow, old. Hasn't fought in 4 years. Ring rust. You know, like the fight that needed to happen was when John, oh, he's landing elbows. He's about to stop him. Nope, Stipe ate them and still in there. I think Stipe, when that fight fell out with him and Jones last time, he should have fought Aspinall instead of Pavlovich. And then he would have had 2 years off, not 4 years off, if he would have won the fight. Or they'd have Aspinall as a clear number one. 23-1 are the significant strikes so far. But now still, Jones up at heavyweight. Jones's cardio's got to hold up. Stipe's been here his whole career. Stipe, I don't think has ever fought this heavy, but Stipe's eating these elbows. Stipe ate all those elbows and actually just rechambered his guard and got a guard, a closed, open guard, but he's got his little leg laces in, preventing Jones from posturing up. And he's trying to throw punches off his back. Oh, Jones got to watch out for the up kick. Passed again. See, like this is just what Jones has done his whole life. Beat up heavyweights. He beat up both of his brothers. I heard that his one brother Arthur beat him up a time or two, and he would say Arthur could beat me up, but this dude's been fighting with NFL athletes over fucking bowls of cereal. Oh, couple good elbows, but Stipe made it out. Couple huge elbows to end the round, but Stipe made it out. Jones definitely had a hot. Oh, Stipe's cut on the cheek now. But Jones definitely had a very high output in that first round. Oof. Nice little scratch on the cheek. I'm surprised he's not more cut up. He's got some leathery skin, Stipe. That old leathery skin that he didn't get more cut up right there. Oof. Stipe's definitely huffing in the corner right now, taking some deep breaths. I got to see what Jones looks like. But yeah, unless Jones slows down or stops, Stipe don't look like he's fast enough even on the feet to really land anything significant. He ragdolled him to the ground. That was like a judo trip. 1-0. Might be a 10-8. Bro, they used to. I remember hearing Jones talk about it one time, and that would actually be a question I would have if I ever interviewed him. How close were they to death in the Jones household? Like they probably used to fight like fucking animals. They were all big. Jones was even smaller than the other two, so he probably had to fight for his life. Stipe looks all right though. He's still in it. 30 seconds into the second round, but just the speed's not there. So he has to like catch Jones sleeping. Good jab by Jones. Jones definitely looks like the faster of the two. Ooh, good uppercut by Stipe. Oh. You know, this fight's unfortunately similar to Tyson Jake Paul, if you will. The only way Tyson was going to catch Jake Paul is if he punched when Jake Paul was punching. Only way Stipe is going to catch John Jones right now is to punch when he's punching. You got to eat one to land one. Stipe is not quick enough to throw a combination right now that's going to work. Definitely a 10-8 argument for that first round. Oh, Stipe's moving. Stipe's moving. Jones is moving his head, though, pretty well to avoid these punches. Stipe's landing some right hands to the body, though, going to that DC strategy. You know, like, remember that fight with DC? DC was winning, and then all of a sudden, Stipe just found that hole to the body. And then, John keeps landing like this toe kick to the stomach that's hurting Stipe. He hurt him in the first round, hurt him in this round. Fight pace definitely slowed down. 2:40 left in the second. John's been stalking Stipe the whole fight. Maybe 10 seconds of the fight where Stipe went forward. You know, John's just moving his head, not letting Stipe get anything off. He's not there for the second and third punch of Stipe's combinations. And again, Stipe looks slow. John's definitely standing with him longer than I thought he would, but he probably doesn't feel threatened. Good knee to the body by Jones. And even I know Jones came in a lot lighter, 12 pounds lighter, I think, 11 pounds lighter than he did against Cyril Gain. Ooh, Stipe just landed a clean right hand. Jones ate it like it was nothing. Yeah, the only chance Stipe has is that second and third punch, and Jones isn't there for it. Oh. He's got to punch when Jones punches. That's his only chance. Only chance. A lot of swings and misses for Stipe. Only thing that's going to work is if he punches when John punches. He's not fast enough. He doesn't have the combinations. And he's 40 years of age. 42. Oh. But yeah, he just shuffles, moves his head a little bit, and is just shuffling. And Stipe's not there to throw second and third punches. John's starting to open up with kicks, spamming kicks, spamming leg kicks, body kicks. Oh. Oh, that was Stipe's best work right there. He landed another right hand, but he's not there for the second and third punches. Ooh, good spinning back kick by Jones. He could catch Jones when Jones starts doing this running away thing to get away from the combinations, but he's not closing the distance quick enough. He's not covering enough ground. End of the second round, 2-0 Jones. He might be down 3 points if the first round was 10-8, which it easily could be. They've already given out, they gave Oliveira a 10-8 round tonight. This is my dog. She's named after John Jones and Joanna Jones Jacek. Her name is Joanna Bones Jones Jacek. She's black too, just like John. And she's a girl, just like Joanna. And she fights. Undefeated. Street fight record. What's the circle button? Kick in the video game? John's breathing heavy, though, too, so this is the heaviest that he's been this late in the fight. I hope he has 5-round cardio. You know, both of them are breathing pretty heavy right now. Heavyweight's not known for their cardio ever. Cain Velasquez, I think, is the only one I ever remember who was known for his cardio. And Randy. But Randy Couture has an asterisk next to him because he was like overdosing on testosterone and HGH. Oh. Stipe landed a right hand there. Stipe's really running. Ooh. Stipe landed a good right hand right there. John ate it. That is where he's probably getting told by his coaches, you're going to catch him. As John is back at pulling away out of Stipe's combinations with his hands down and just trying to move his head and like running, backpedaling. Oh, another good right hand by Stipe. John just eats it. John's breathing heavy though, and this Stipe's coming on right now. Sea level Cain, yes. Best start to a round right now for Stipe. Minute and a half into the third round. Ooh, good left hand by Jones. Stipe ate that. They're both handling each other's powers pretty well. You know, John had his most success with the takedown. Oh, right as I said that. Good right hand by Jones. Stipe's backpedaling. Oh, Stipe landed a right hand. Stipe got hurt, though, right there. Stipe got hit with a jab, froze up, and then got hit with a right hand right on the chin. But then Stipe landed a good right hand counter when he was backpedaling. I think this fight is definitely proven to be more competitive than people thought it was going to be. Definitely more competitive than minus 600, 700 odds. Oh, very clean right hand landed by Jones. Right as I said, they were both taking each other's power pretty well, but Stipe still on his feet, still in the fight. And how much does that affect Jones, landing that and not ending the fight right there? Your son is named after Cain? That's amazing. And then you hear that Cain tried to kill the person who molested his daughter. So Cain's aces in my book. I love Cain Velasquez. He's the man. John's trying to pull out a jab. Oh. I know there was a rumor or video people saw of both of them, John and Stipe, looking like they were both limping before the fight. So both looking old. Stipe just landed another clean right hand that John just ate. John's eating Stipe's right hands and not reacting at all. Nice side kick by Jones. So the guy who said this fight in the chat before said this fight might go to points. It's looking good right now if you bet on it. It was looking like a Jones TKO early in the first, but ooh, good left hand by Jones. What's up, Kessler? Oh. Stipe landed a right hand that had John backpedaling, a left hand that had him backpedaling. Definitely the best round for Stipe. 40 seconds left. Good kick by Jones. Oh, he dropped him with a spinning back kick to the body. That's it. Referee stopped it. John Jones by TKO. He dropped him with a spinning back kick. And then he did the Donald Trump dance. Oof. 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 I got you guys right now. I got you guys. How do I There you go right here. Here's the right hand. Boom. I hope they show some of the punches Stipe was landing. Here's that spinning back kick. Oh shit. Aye. Aye. Oof. Come on. I mean, he hasn't fought in 4 years, so that's rough. Dun, 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 dun. Bring in Aspinall. Winner can fight Tejeda. Bring in Aspinall. Spinning back kick happened. Damn. If I'm Aspinall, if they're not bringing me in, I'm running in and I'm having security stop me from getting in, having Madison Square Garden security escort me out the building. Aspinall needs to throw a scene right now and be like, I'm coming for you. Make it a storyline. Make it something people really want to see. Oh, yes. Aspinall should definitely cause a scene. Yeah, that was over 2.5.
Jesus loves you so much. That's all I'll say about that.
He just pivoted.
As far as my future in the octagon, I decided that maybe I will not retire, and that
Oh,
I have some conversations to have with Dana and Hunter, and we have some negotiating to do. And if everything goes right, maybe we'll give you guys what you want to see. And what would that?
oh, he's fighting Aspinall.
Or is that Alex Pereira at heavyweight? What is that? What are you thinking? I know that we have options, and so I'm just going to see what Uncle Dana wants, and what Uncle Hunter wants, and you guys will hear about it soon, I'm sure. I also want to say a big thank you to President Donald Trump for being here tonight. Can I get a Hey, what do you guys think about my version of the Donald Trump? Check it out. USA, let's go.
Does Stipe retire after this? Is the question.
I'm proud to be a great American champion. I'm proud to be a Christian American champion. Well, John, as always, it was an honor to call your fight. Whatever you do next, I can't wait. I'll be here for it. Congratulations, you sir. The greatest of all time, ladies and gentlemen, John Jones.
Yeah, I don't think. Oh, oh.
Miocic, ladies and gentlemen, Stipe.
All right, he still got his gloves on.
Quite a few years off before this fight. Was anything surprising? Sucked ass. I got lost. I mean, he was really tough. I knew he was gonna be good. He's one of the best of all time. Came strong. Hard kicks. I felt good. And just that spinning kick we worked on, just blocking and calming the ribs. Coming into this fight, what was the game plan, and what, if anything, did you not expect? I expected everything. I just didn't do what I was supposed to do, and congratulations to him. He did what he was supposed to, and he won. Hats off to him, man. Nothing but the best for him. Do you have a thought from now, as to what happens next? Are you going to continue fighting, or do you think this is it? I'm done. I'm hanging him up. I'm retiring. Thank God. Well, Stipe, you've had an incredible career.
He's 42. Of course he should retire.
It's been an amazing ride, and thank you for everything.
Take off the gloves and lay him down, Stipe. There you go. Oh, I guess not. Oh, wow, he gave the belt to Trump. Good shit, Jones. Good shit, Jones. I understood what Stipe was saying. I speak mumble sometimes. We all mumble sometimes. I mean, I like that John answered the question. He said, I'll talk to. I think that I heard people say that it was a public negotiation. I think that's more of what was going on, too. Jones wants a lot of money to fight Aspinall. He was definitely going to make a lot of money on just pay-per-view sales versus Tejeda. But if he fights Aspinall and he's going to make less on pay-per-view, if they compensate him more beforehand, I think he takes that fight. Fun fights for who? Stipe or for John? I don't think there's any. Stipe didn't look good tonight. I don't think Stipe looked good tonight. The fights are over, Benji, you goof. But yeah, what is there left for Stipe to do? Didn't look good tonight. Granted, he could shake off the ring rust and fight again, but he didn't look good tonight. At 42, he would just be a stepping stone for people. Or he could walk away. Probably made a good paycheck tonight. I'd imagine this fight did good on pay-per-view. What do you guys think of Buckley versus Covington? Bobby, a.k.a. Kid Rock. Bro, Kid Rock turned out, it seems like he's like Trump's right-hand man whenever Trump goes to UFC events. Jan Figueiredo's a good fight, too. That's crazy, though. It's awesome that the fans got behind Aspinall, that they cheered like that when they showed his picture. You know, that's who really controls what fights the UFC wants to make. And yeah, Jones knows, Joe Rogan definitely knows of those stories. John Jones been beating up heavyweights. Undefeated versus heavyweights in practice and in fights. Great career, though, for Stipe. Oh, yeah, those fights. The Barrios fight was great, and then that girl fight was one of the best girl fights I've ever seen. Serrano got robbed, though. Absolutely, Serrano got robbed. Serrano won that fight either 7-3 or 6-4. I'd have to rewatch it. And she got deducted a point. Katie Taylor. So there's no way that Katie Taylor won that fight. The judges were judging off of blood that they saw. And something that's tough with judges, when there's celebrities at the fights and it's a big fight, they're just like us. They're going to turn and look and be like, oh shit, there's Charlize Theron, and oh shit, Kid Rock. They're not paying attention to the fights the way they need to. TikTok. TikTok and YouTube. But yeah, Amanda Serrano deserves a rematch, especially after getting headbutted and that nasty cut. That cut's going to take a while to heal because that cut was deep. They're going to have to double stitch that. They got to stitch like the tendons together, then stitch the layer of skin. So she's got a lot of healing to do, but definitely they need to run that one back. That fight was awesome. And I am not an advocate for women's MMA. I don't even think, or women's boxing, women's fighting in general. Not the biggest fan. Even earlier, that I don't want to call her a bitch, but that bitch Karine Silva fucked up my parlay. She was a minus 298 favorite, and then she fucking started falling on her ass and got exhausted and was just doing terrible and gave that fight away. But that's women's MMA. You're an idiot if you bet on women's MMA. I did it today, went against my own rules. It happens, but it's a very unpredictable and terrible sport. But women's boxing, that fight was amazing. Earlier on the undercard, the Shadaza Green fight, I could have did without versus the Canadian chick, but Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, that was a great fight. That was a great women's fight. But at least John answered that he will fight, will negotiate, but I definitely think Aspinall should have tried to rush the cage and just make a scene of it. Yes, again, I was saying it earlier, Steeler Nation. You can go to work on Monday and you can get paid $1,000, or you can go to work on Monday and get paid $200. Which one are you going to take? You're an idiot if you take 200. You know what I mean? That all the fans went so hard against Jones. I get where Jones was coming from. Pereira has like 6 million Instagram followers, has already sold pay-per-views. You know, the thing with UK fighters too, Leon Edwards wasn't a draw. I don't think any UK fighters were ever a big draw on pay-per-view. I don't even think Bisping was a big pay-per-view draw. Like, Aspinall's not going to be a big pay-per-view draw as soon as he starts fighting in main events. It's going to take an A side, and he's going to be the B side. But if the fans get behind him and want him to see fight Jones, then that fight gets a little bit bigger. We also have to see what this fight did pay-per-view wise. Because Stipe, greatest heavyweight of all time, hasn't fought in 4 years. So There's probably fans that don't even remember Stipe, and there's new fans that don't even know who Stipe is. It'll be John's final fight because he loses, or John's final fight because he wins and walks away. I don't know if people are hyping him up like he's already. They are, but I think also it's just the fact that they think Jones ducked him. That's why I think the internet and everyone went crazy. But where Jones was coming from was I can go to work and make 15 million, or I can go to work and make 3 million. But if the UFC tells him we'll pay you the money like you were going to make if you would have fought Pereira, he'll fight anybody. For people to say John Jones is scared or any of these guys are scared, no, they all want the best paycheck, the easiest fight for the most money. I think it was Chael who said that. That's what every fighter wants. The easiest fight for the most money. They don't want the harder fight for less money. You're just not thinking, as even a fan, you're not thinking rational right there. You're going to go to work for less money? No, you want to go to your job and make the most money possible. Easiest job, most money possible. What do you guys think of DC as the commentator? I love DC as the commentator. I enjoyed DC's commentary, especially tonight. I felt like he might have been a little, I don't know about biased or just quiet or salty because it was Stipe and Jones, but I felt he did a great job handling that. He's two of his former opponents. Stipe seemed like he was pretty good. Definitely knocked the wind out of him. After the fight, he was telling Dana he's fine. He was fine. That he could have. That he didn't like the stoppage. That other fight too, Luton versus Ruffy. That fight was good. What did you guys think of Bo Nickel? That the fans started chanting overrated, overrated. Who Cormier don't like John? I don't think he does, but I think he respects the fuck out of him, and he also has that little bit of bitterness because that's who you know not only beat him, but then beat him and then failed steroid tests. But even DC, I question everybody. I'll go that DC's clean, but DC was also in the Olympics. He was at the highest level. If DC is not taking anything, he's probably taking the stuff that is the alternative to what's on the banned substance list. And also, I'm a proponent of if everyone around you is failing tests and taking something, you might be taking something. But yeah, he never pissed hot, so I can't. I thought Bo did good, considering I think Paul Craig was a tough matchup for him, 6 fights in. You know, the one thing that they said, Paul Craig has beaten Ankalaev and Jamal Hill. Now he's fighting Bo Nickel. So he's got wins over champions, and they weren't that long ago. But yes, great night of fights. That was a good clean fight. There was not a single eye poke. That was one thing I saw too, is everyone saying that who's the most entertaining fighter, Paul Craig? But I saw everyone saying how they wanted to change the gloves so John could eye poke people because he felt like he couldn't eye poke people. But I feel like that's been a common thing I've heard from a lot of the fighters say is they don't like the new gloves. The new gloves hurt. The new gloves were making everybody's forearms tired because they couldn't open their hands. I think it was Demetrius Johnson who said it that they need to go to the Pride gloves. And I have always heard good things about the Pride gloves. Look good. Imagine he does smash Aspinall. It's definitely a possibility. But Aspinall's definitely quicker than Stipe. Stipe had moments tonight where it was like, man, if he was just a little quicker, had that third or fourth punch, he could have caught Jones. I didn't like the way Jones was running away from him on like turning his back and creating space versus shuffling his feet with his hands up. John was just turning around and sprinting that way. Do you think Charles and Chandler stole the show? I think Stipe and John put on a pretty good fight. Like that main event delivered. The main event wasn't any less boring than the undercard, but and Chandler and Oliveira was exciting in the 5th round. The other 4 rounds were kind of one-sided. It was cool if you're a real fight fan, like a diehard, and you're like, oh shit, Charles Oliveira was out wrestling Chandler. That was the takeaway I took from that fight. I was very entertained by his entries and seeing that Charles Oliveira out wrestled Chandler. Chandler is a good wrestler. Chandler's a D1 stud. I believe he was an All-American. Was at a very good college on a very good team. Like at that point, right around his weight, I know he probably had Askren in the room with him. Like very, very good wrestlers. And Oliveira is not known for his wrestling. He's known for his jiu-jitsu, not really known for his wrestling. But even Chandler, I wouldn't have been upset if Chandler took his gloves off tonight. You know, that he called out Conor McGregor, that's the only fight that he really has. There's definitely a running meme of John Jones coming. I feel like he's done that before. He definitely has turned and did that little sprint away, but he was doing it a lot against Stipe tonight. Stipe just looked slow. Definitely speed left. I don't know what Stipe had going on coming into the fight. You know, you get dinged up in training. You have little hitches and shit going on, but Stipe did not look good tonight. He looked tough and durable. He didn't look good. The couple of right hands he landed were when John was going, you know what, I could fucking beat the shit out of this guy. And then Stipe would go, no, wait, I got this for you. But yes, great night of fights. I don't know why I love Teddy Atlas as a boxing analyst. I don't know why they put him on MMA broadcasts. I never understand that. I feel like he just rambles and tries to sound like metaphorical and philosophical, but what the fuck are you talking about? Paul Felder is good. Yeah, definitely showed the age. The speed definitely wasn't there. And something Jones did in this fight that he said he didn't feel good against Cyril Gane because he was at such a high weight. He needed to bring the weight down because his kicks. And his kicks were always his best thing, in my opinion. The way that he would work the kicks up and down, mix the kicks, throw a lot of body kicks, a lot of stomps on the legs, calf kicks. Tonight he threw a lot of kicks. He definitely started mixing it up. We took a long break from the podcast, but we're going to get back. I'm going to start doing some solo stuff. We're going to shoot to get Menace and the Man back up. Yes, we definitely got to get that shit back up. My problem was I moved to upstate New York, and it's like dead here. I moved to the middle of nowhere. But yeah, we're going to get back to it. And then Uncle Chael, greatest color commentator, fight commentator in history. Like blind people and assholes. That's who wear sunglasses indoors. And then there's Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen could wear the darkest shades anywhere. Indoors, outdoors. Like, you know who I saw and I actually thought that? Blind people and assholes was Dan Hardy. If you guys watched the prelims and saw Dan Hardy's wife, she was doomed before she even got in there. Because her corner man came out with dark sunglasses and fucking dancing. And it was Dan Hardy. I was like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Your wife's about to fight. You're acting like a fucking football. And again, you're wearing sunglasses indoors. Like, what are you doing? Blind people and assholes. But yeah, John definitely fights. I think a lot of fighters fight dirty, but John definitely has been the facilitator of some dirty tactics a time or two. At least he admitted it. There is a video out there of Jones admitting, like, yeah, I do poke people in the eye. It just happens, but I do poke people in the eye. So you have an exception. You wear sunglasses indoors. It's at work. It's factory life. 100%. I go to events sometimes and I wear sunglasses indoors. I'm an asshole and I'm blind. See, they got Teddy Atlas rambling again. Just shut this fucking guy up. He's talking about Jimi Hendrix playing a guitar right now. Chael just laughed at him. Like, what are we doing right now, Teddy Atlas? Do we think John Jones looked good tonight, or did Stipe just look old? Like, was Stipe beating Tom Aspinall tonight? Was John beating Tom Aspinall tonight? I think they both look their age. You know, John's 37, which is young for a heavyweight, but John's an old 37. The whole not training for big fights and partying weekends before fights. If he was partying 2 weeks out from a fight, what the fuck do you think he was doing the weeks he didn't have a fight booked? Or the weeks out before that? He was definitely partying. So John definitely has a lot of miles on him. But heavyweights are slow. You know, John can get away with a lot of mistakes and get away with a lot of just being slow because he's faster than slow heavyweights. Is Aspinall crazy fast? I know he's fast for a heavyweight, but is he crazy fast? Well, when he fights John, he's going to look fast. But definitely from Aspinall, I'm looking at the way John was turning around, running like that. All right, DA, I'll see you soon. Definitely very high fight IQ. And again, the kicks. He came in 11 pounds lighter, so he was spamming kicks all night on Stipe. First round, all 3 rounds. First round, he hurt him with a body kick. Second round, he hurt him with a body kick. Third round, he finished the fight with a body kick. Have a good night. Stipe versus Ty? No, 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 no. Stipe should win that fight, but that's a tough one. Tough to stomach. Not tough for Stipe, just that'd be a wild. There's a realm where Ty catches him. And then you're like, fuck, Stipe really fell off. So let's just avoid that one. It sucks that they let Ngannou go. I would have loved to have seen Ngannou versus Jones. Or Ngannou versus Aspinall, or even just, it sucks to see a champion walk away and relinquish the belt because of money. When the company's $1 billion company, they should have opened up the checkbook and just been like, all right, you're going to fight, and we'll put the clause in, the incentive clause, where if you do this, paper will pay you more with incentives. So if you hit these marks, you'll make your money. You know, they didn't have to give him guaranteed money. They could have gave him incentives. Instead, they lost him, let him go beat the number 37 ranked guy in the PFL and lose 2 boxing fights. Now he's definitely not what he was. First, they could have cashed in, kept the champion in their company, and now they wouldn't have people saying Jones isn't the real champion, Aspinall's not the real champion. They definitely need to unify that belt, though. They should have never made Aspinall as interim champion if they weren't going to make that fight. Why the fuck did they go to Teddy Atlas again? He said there's 2 people that could beat John Jones, Father Time and John Jones. I think Aspinall's live in the fight. I think Ngannou's live in the fight. I think he fucks up Ngannou because Ngannou can't grapple. But I haven't seen too much of it, but Aspinall can grapple, apparently, is what they say. I don't remember a fight where we've seen Aspinall's grappling, but they say Aspinall can grapple. Now we're going to watch the post-fight press conference after we get Uncle Chael's closing statements.
This was tremendous, guys. This was really. This was not a bad Stipe. This was not a worn down Stipe. This was a tough Stipe. Stipe got tested with the power. He overcame it. Stipe lost the first round. He shook it off. Like Stipe fought very well. I think we need to acknowledge that to see how good John is. It was difficult to watch
You know,
him fight and not instantly juxtapose.
Stipe definitely, I don't want to compare him to Mike Tyson because Mike Tyson was 58, but same ballpark. Stipe looked old tonight. He looked slow. He didn't look fast. His counters weren't fast. The couple of shots he did land where he caught John coming in or he caught John not pulling away, like John just overconfidence, if you will, because Stipe looked so slow. Definitely looked a little bit more like light heavyweight Jones, though. Spamming kicks. And then did a very good right hand. Definitely rocked Stipe. You know, UFC, just Dana, Hunter, they just need to lay it out there and do him right. If he's the GOAT, treat him like the GOAT. Give him the money, let him fight Aspinall. If he beats Aspinall, give him the hand. And then lightning might strike if Pajeda might win. And then you have the first three-weight world champion. And if you want to put a cherry on top and just make some bullshit, make a BMF heavyweight belt and put it on the line for Pajeda versus Jones after Aspinall. And we're back to Teddy Atlas. I don't know if anyone's ever seen Mallrats when they're like, that kid is back on the escalator again. That's how I feel watching Teddy Atlas. Like, Teddy Atlas is fucking talking again. Why? Boxing all day. I just don't know why they brought him in as an MMA commentator. And if he has good moments, they're few and far between because then he goes off rambling. But now I've heard Dana say, and we've seen it with our own eyes paying attention, usually after Jones wins, he kind of disappears and goes away for a little bit until he gets the itch, and then he contacts the UFC about wanting to fight. Hopefully now, if he's 37, he's on borrowed time. He doesn't have a lot of time left. Again, a lot of hard partying by John Jones. Old 37. So by the time he's 38, 39, his speed's gone. And my theory, too, is John Jones was in Vegas last week. Definitely losing rails off some good. Definitely went out for a night party. Just so he can get the juices flowing and get that old John Jones back. Like I was telling everybody, when I saw that Jones was in Vegas last week, bet the house on Jones. There's no way John Jones is in Las Vegas for a weekend and he doesn't do something. Some diabolical shit. Some type of partying. Okay, they're going to get word from Aspinall. Right now, they have Aspinall as the favorite, the minus 150 over Jones. That's crazy. I would love to bet John Jones is an underdog. And then they got Jones minus 650 over Alex Pereira. Pereira plus 425. That's crazy. Much respect to Stipe, though. Stipe had a great career. He's done, as of right now, he's the greatest heavyweight champion of all time. Had the most defenses. Is a two-time champion. Uncle Chael breaking the news saying that the interim championship of Tom Aspinall is no more. I think John should be the favorite against Aspinall, but the company, I think, sold for $4 billion. Now I think the company is worth $10 billion. Pay the man his fucking money. Pay the man his fucking money. Like, what are we talking about here? What the fuck are we talking about here? Pay him his money. That's it. I don't know who remembers it, but I was at whatever UFC that was a couple of years ago at MSG, and that's what I was hinting at with Stipe, with Ngannou, and with Jones. Just these are the heavyweights. These are the anchor, the backbone, the base of your company. The baddest man on the planet is the heavyweight champion. Pay them, whatever. Their shelf life is not long. Pay them. If it has to be incentives, give them a crazy incentives deal where they make their money on their pay-per-view sales, or they make their money on certain amount of wins. Like if they win 2 fights, then the pay goes up tremendously. Like you gotta pay these guys their money. Pay these guys their fucking money. And I'm very curious to see what the pay-per-view numbers are and what they generated for this fight. To see if Stipe versus John was even the draw that they thought it was, or that we all thought it was. Currently at the post-fight presser, they have Bo Nickel talking. I'm not listening to it, but he's getting spammed in the chat. Everyone thinks Bo Nickel's now overrated because he couldn't finish Paul Craig. I thought that was a great fight. I'll use actually Weidman as the example. I don't know if you guys remember when Weidman fought, like I think it was Alessio Sakara, Damian Maia, like all these fights that Weidman was fighting. He wasn't finishing them. He was winning decisions. In competitive fights, scrappy fights just that looked a lot like that. And Weidman was nowhere near the level of wrestler of Bo Nickel. Was very good, Weidman, but nowhere near the level of Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel is one of the best wrestlers we've ever seen. But yeah, 7-0 to fight Paul, 6-0 to fight Paul Craig. That's fucking crazy. To jump up from Cody Brundage and so 7-0 with Val Woodburn, 10-5 for Cody Brundage to jump up to 17-8 for Paul Craig. That's a lot of fights. To fight in your sixth fight, that is a lot of fights. Very experienced. And again, Paul Craig's got some really good wins on his resume. He's got some shitty losses, but he's got some really good wins. So Paul Craig's one of those guys. Any given night, he might fuck you up. I'm trying to find. Yeah, like Weidman. Decision Maya, beat Munoz, choked out Tom Lawler. Decision D'Alessio Sakara. So yeah, similar to the Chris Weidman track a little bit. But he's not there. Like Chris Weidman only got the Anderson fight because there was nobody else. But I'd say undefeated. Bo Nickel, he's 2-3 fights away from being somewhere. But one thing I did hear them say on the broadcast, and I was like, absolutely, Chimaev, fucking mauled him. Absolutely mauled him. Like Paul Craig's weakness is his striking. His striking suspect. He's good on the ground. Chimaev, good on the feet, good on the ground. Definitely gives Bo Nickel problems, if not fucks him up. He's definitely a fight or two away from a guy like that. And now DC's on his Teddy Atlas kick. He's talking about Superman. They're literally doing a vignette right now about Superman. I guess they're comparing it to Stipe and saying Stipe is like Clark Kent because he's a fireman. Much respect to Stipe too. That he retired, great career, first responder. You always gotta love a fireman, somebody who's gonna protect your shit if your house goes on fire. Full burning people out of a building. But yeah, all I'm reading in this chat, they're actually calling Bo Nickel lame. They're going with the Ducks in the chat. I guess that's for John Jones. Or are they saying that Bo Nickel's ducking somebody? Who can Bo Nickel fight next is the question. Who you guys want to see Bo Nickel fight? Did anybody win any bets tonight? Even that, fuck. Once you start thinking about it, Stipe did kind of dirty. But I guess that's just the way it worked out, having to wait 4 years for another fight. But he was also holding out, waiting for John Jones. Should have just fought Aspinall. Something I am noticing though about today's MMA fan, they're definitely harsh. Like that, they all turned on John Jones. Now they're all kind of turning on Bo Nickel. Very hard to please. This new wave of MMA fan. I'll almost call them the WME era fans. Or TKO era. Yeah, what the fuck is this vignette about Superman? Again, I'll respect the firemen, but we're definitely glazing a little too hard if we're saying he's like Superman. Superman fucking has lasers in his eyes and can fly. This is a fireman who's coming in with a fire extinguisher and going to use a ladder. Oh, thank God they got Teddy Atlas out of here. Again, love Teddy Atlas in boxing. Don't want to hear him in MMA. He doesn't make sense. He starts rambling. And then when you have Chael and Paul Felder, let's hear Chael and Paul Felder. Let's go with Uncle Chael and Paul Felder. All right, let's move on to the post-fight presser. Is Bo still sitting there? Nah, Bo left. But what's next for Bo Nickel? Was anyone not impressed by Bo Nickel tonight? The fans in New York were not. I personally was impressed by Bo Nickel. Again, I think Paul Craig's a very tough opponent. Very tough opponent for your sixth fight, seventh fight. Paul Craig's got multiple world champions already on his resume. Granted, he's got some fights, some Khalil Roundtree fights where it's like, how the fuck did you get fucked up in this fight? But they age better over time. I think maybe his most suspect one. I think he got knocked out by Johnny Walker, but Johnny Walker has knocked some people out. It happens. I remember Paul Craig fucking up Jamal Hill, breaking his arm, submitting Ankalev late in the fight that he was losing. He's legit. Definitely a big win if you look at it like that. On paper, they hyped him up, so it's like, oh, and the odds were insane. But they hyped him up like, oh, he's supposed to win. But at the same time, if you saw a guy with 26 fights and a good record versus a guy with 6 fights, you'd be like, the guy with 6 fights probably gonna get his shit pushed in tonight. But Paul Craig's weakness again is striking. Bo Nickel's weakness is absolutely striking. He did outstrike Paul Craig, but Chimaev would beat the brakes off him on the feet. And if he wrestles Chimaev, is he able to hold Chimaev down? Is he able to submit Chimaev or put him in bad spots? I don't know. We saw a couple of lesser skilled guys at least defend some takedowns or force some scrambles against Bo Nickel. So I think Bo's still got some time. Definitely still has time. I don't think we'll see another Chris Weidman, Henry Cejudo type of guy where they kind of come in and can cut the line. I think the game's too advanced now. That you see like Bo Nickel is just not up to speed yet. And Bo has the intangibles, if you will, of his wrestling so high level, but he doesn't have the intangibles like Weidman had, where Weidman was huge. Weidman was very long, had a very long reach. Henry Cejudo was a huge 25 pounder. Not huge in height, thick, back, fucking muscles. Small 135 pounder or adequate 135 pounder, very big 125 pounder. It's also why he had a hard time making 25. Did anybody watch the fights tonight? Did anybody in this chat watch the fights tonight? What was your fight of the night? Dana has yet to come out and tell us what was fight of the night. There's definitely a few candidates. I could see Rufy and Flanton or whatever his name was being a potential. Definitely Stipe John Jones potentially fight of the night. Definitely Chandler Oliveira. I'll tell you who did not get fight of the night though was Paul Craig and Bo Nickel, or those two girls, Karine Silva and Araujo did not get fight of the night. That fight was fucking terrible. Also killed a couple of my parlays. Stupid bitch. Falling on her fucking ass and shit. That shit was terrible. Absolutely terrible. I wonder how many over or under. I'll set the over under at 1.5, maybe 2.5. How many questions, how many Tom Aspinall questions do they ask John Jones at the press conference when he comes out? 2, 3? There's definitely 80 to 100 journalists in that room. How many Tom Aspinall questions? And I would love a journalist to ask Jones, be very transparent. Let's negotiate in public. What's the number? What's the number that you want from the UFC? And also, it sucks because UFC probably has a bad taste in their mouth from Francis. And the last time they negotiated with the heavyweight champion trying to make a heavyweight super fight. So let's see how these negotiations go. And even right now, I think some more of the negotiations are about to happen in public. They're going to ask Dana about Aspinall and John Jones. And then they're going to ask John Jones about Aspinall and John Jones. So the will of the people, of the fight fans, is what's probably going to make this fight happen. And calling John a duck. I hate when you have these lulls, though. You would think, granted, these guys just got through fights, but you would think they have these guys ready to walk out and do the press conference. Like the press conference is going to be guy after guy after guy. They go in the back, they see the doctor, they go get themselves cleaned up a little bit, and then wheel them in. How long does that take? But yeah, they're spamming ducks in the chat on YouTube. Spamming ducks for Tom Aspinall, John Jones. Do you guys think John's ducking him? Or did John answer adequately that he might potentially fight him if he gets paid? But yeah, ducks and overrated. So I guess everybody's off the Bo Nickel hype train. I'm still on it. I like Bo Nickel. He's a nice guy. Never met him, but I've interviewed him. I've talked to him. I almost booked some amateur fights once upon a time for Bo Nickel right before he went pro. I was doing some stuff with a card in Florida, and we were trying to get some of the top amateurs, and I was like, Bo Nickel, let's get Bo Nickel. And then I hit up Bo Nickel. I hit up Bo Nickel's management, and I was like, if I can get an opponent for Bo, can Bo fight on this card? And they were like, yep. Then I asked Bo, I said, Bo, you might be fighting December in Miami. And he was like, sounds good. And then Bo had some nagging injuries and the timing just didn't work out. And he was like, I'm not going to take a fight this month. I'm going to actually take time off. And then he was on the Contender Series a couple months later. And then when we interviewed him, he definitely seems like one of the bros, Bo Nickel. So I like Bo Nickel. Big Trump supporter, Bo Nickel. Seems like an American. A lot of the Penn State wrestlers, most of the Penn State wrestlers I've ever encountered, always very cool, very cordial with their time. Always good jokesters, down to clown. Have some laughs rather than be serious during an interview. So definitely fuck with the Penn State wrestlers.
Life is calling, and wherever it takes you, you'll have access.
Killing me. They're killing me with the ads, Joe. Did anybody in the chat watch the fights tonight? What did you think? What was fight of the night to you? Do Jones and Stipe get fight of the night? I think John definitely should get a performance bonus. But does John and Stipe get fight of the night? Something too. I'm sure they get some type of preliminary numbers on how the pay-per-view went. They should if the pay-per-view does good, they should give out some more bonuses. Definitely plus some of those undercard guys that went after it. Man, though, so many combat sports fans or MMA fans think John is ducking Tom Aspinall. Again, like I said earlier in the chats, you can go to work on Monday. You can get paid $1,000, or I'll even use it in Jones terms. You can go to work on Monday and get paid $20 million, or you can go to work on Monday and get paid $5 million, $8 million. If you're gonna take $5 or $8 million, you're a fucking idiot. If you want 20 for an easier job, then you're gonna be fucking smart. You're gonna go with the 20. You're not gonna go to work on Monday and say, you know what? I want to work just as hard today, but I want you to pay me less. No, you're gonna go, hey, can you fucking pay me top dollar for my time? That's all Jones is looking for. You know, Pereira's got fucking like 6 million followers on social media. Pereira has headlined how many pay-per-views in a row, and the pay-per-views I think did pretty good business. Aspinall has not headlined a pay-per-view yet. Aspinall's not a pay-per-view name. Hardcores know Tom Aspinall. If you went up to the average, it's an American company. If you went up to the average American, they would be like, if you told them Tom Aspinall was a soccer player, they'd be like, yeah, never heard of him, but yeah, maybe. Diehard fight fans know who Tom Aspinall is. And again, even the UK fighters. Leon wasn't a draw. Bisping wasn't a big draw. I'm pretty sure Bisping didn't draw shit. Most of the UK fighters, I can't remember ever there being a UK fighter that was a big draw. Boxing, there's big draws, but I don't know about MMA. I don't think the sport's there yet. That being said, though, too, I think Jones fucks up Aspinall. I think Aspinall's definitely a very good test for him, being that he's young, but there's a good realm where Jones just fucks him up and goes, told you guys. There's a reason that I'm the GOAT. There's a reason I beat all these guys. There's a reason I haven't been beaten. There's a reason I walked through Stipe's punches. Stipe caught him with a lot of clean punches that almost didn't even look like they landed because Jones didn't react. And again, Jones has been getting punched in the face by NFL linemen and NFL defensive ends. And what the fuck is what's his name, a receiver? I think he's a defensive back. Oh no, I think they're all defensive ends, but been getting punched in the face by big motherfuckers over bowls of cereal and Hot Wheels cars, and who knows what they fought about in the Jones house. But he's been fighting heavyweights and big dudes his whole life. If anything, he was picking on little dudes fighting that light heavyweight because he was definitely bigger than everyone he was fighting. And then think of 185. Anderson was there for a while, but then think of post Anderson, the belt changing hands constantly. And then think of heavyweight, how many title changes, how many times that there were different champions. Not 205. John dominated that division for a very long time. Only other person who can touch it is Anderson in his prime and DJ. And who were they? Two of the best that ever did it. What fucked Anderson up was breaking his leg. Showboating. If Anderson, and granted, that was part of his game too. Like he did it against Forrest, and that's part of how he was effective. But if he never did that bullshit against Weidman, probably beats Weidman. Should have beat Weidman. Lightning struck that night, though. Weidman was longer than he thought he was. Weidman was longer than Anderson thought he was. Weidman threw that hook. Anderson thought he was out of range. Weidman was like, no, I got 3 extra inches on this thing. Whoop. Let's see. Oh, I could change that. But yeah, just watching the post-fight press conference, waiting for the next person to come out so I can dissect what they're saying. Who did you guys think was fight of the night? Was it Jones Stipe? Very bummed too. Now just looked at it. Very bummed out the Weidman Eric Anders fight didn't happen. I was looking forward to that fight. Definitely looking forward to seeing Weidman get some love from the New York crowd. Even that could have been Weidman's last fight. He might have been like, it doesn't get better than this if he would have won, or even if he would have lost, being like, it don't get better than this fighting in front of New York. Ruffy, Top was a good fight. McGee Martinez wasn't fight of the night. Jim Miller should get a performance bonus for that guillotine. Who else we got? No, Tybora Diniz was not. Mickey Gall versus Brahimov should not get fight of the night. So yeah, looking at it, fight of the night was probably Ruffy versus Top, Oliveira Chandler, or Jones Stipe. Still nobody in the chair. We're still here though. Back in one moment.
patient has a story of strength and courage. We're inspired by these stories every day. Our award-winning team is not just treating cancer, we're nurturing dreams, supporting families, and building futures. New York Cancer and Blood Specialists has been recognized as #1 for most top doctors in cancer care by Castle Connolly. With locations across New York, exceptional care is always within reach, ensuring you don't have to travel far to receive the best. New York Cancer and Blood Specialists, conquering cancer close to home.
Experience all that Volvo has to offer here at Volvo Cars Hudson Valley. Here you always receive the incentives and rebates you're entitled to on our vast inventory of new and certified by Volvo vehicles. Volvo Cars Hudson Valley. Luxury starts here.
Do we have anyone yet? Nope, still nobody. Still nobody. What's the MMA holes? I don't know what the MMA holes are. Is anybody in this chat still awake? What'd you think was fight of the night? Meh. What was fight of the night? Oh, we got Dana.
Menace was 20,200. The gate was 16.7 million, second highest grossing event ever. Number 4 highest. What does it say? Number 4 highest. We did something good at number 4. So we hold number 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, and 9 all time here. Oliveira and Chandler, John Jones, Rahemus and Elliott. We gave them both. They all got 50,000. It was hard to pick between all those fights, so they all get 50,000. Congrats to them. The 4th highest all time ever. Yeah. Got it. Thank you.
We have star of the main event, John Jones. Obviously, you've been singing his praises forever. This is the greatest fighter ever. But to do that to Stipe and just turn him off with a spinning back kick of everything, just what was your reaction?
And the kicks that started right from the jump. Hurt him with the first kick.
Hurt him 3 times to the body.
And, everybody going to admit now that he's not the best fighter in the world. And let me tell you what, this thing had upset written all over it too. I mean, Steve, all the talk about John Jones.
Definitely didn't have upset written all over. Stipe looked fucking 52.
He came here to win. He looked good. He was physically in great shape. The list goes on. And John.
Stipe looked very slow tonight.
The jab was unbelievable tonight. How he was kicking
Very
the legs
slow.
and the body. Every time he kicked the body, I thought it was over. And then he would go for the head kick and flipping punches. I mean, he's going to be 38 years old this summer. He looked incredible. I just don't know how any of you don't see that this guy's the fucking greatest fighter in the history of fucking people fighting. He's 37 going on 38. And again tonight, he went in and did what he did.
That is crazy. Jones never looks.
Active, he's the pound for pound best fighter in the world.
And before anyone says Reyes, it was close enough that the judges were able to see it his way. So, oh, here we go.
Tom waiting outside for me right now, and John, you let John do John. John's going to disappear. Not only will you not hear about him, or neither will I. And then he will resurface, and he'll call, and we'll get it done.
Said John's gonna disappear. Come on. Ed's in the middle of him dropping the contract negotiations.
Listen, don't say Stipe. Stipe was in fucking great shape. He came in and he was here to win, and John Jones systematically fucking picked him apart. His fight IQ is off the charts. It is hard talking to people who 99.9% of the media don't know what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to fighting. Thank you, sir.
And what did you make of Stipe's career now that he's officially hung it up?
He's had an incredible career, and you know, it doesn't diminish who he was at heavyweight and what he's accomplished.
Stipe looked old.
You know, when you think about Stipe, he's made a lot of money.
Stipe looked very
He's
slow.
been a firefighter. He'll retire with his pension and all the things. Stipe is going to have a great life.
Co-main event, obviously, another fight of the night for Michael Chandler. He was pretty adamant, like beat Charles, go on to fight for the title and everything. Real weird fifth round of a lot of blows to the back of the head. A lot of your fighters online seemed very confused why the referee wasn't saying anything about that. Just what did you make of just all the weirdness we saw?
Yeah, the refing lately has been weird. The judging has been weird lately, and I don't disagree with you. I saw a fight tonight that should have been stopped earlier, and it's just, yeah.
What do you do with Charles? He's pretty adamant that he wants to be cage side for that Islam and Arman fight, whenever that happens.
Then we fly him in from Brazil and sit him cage side for that fight.
And just a couple other unrelated to the top two fights. The gloves that went back to the old. That's a permanent move? You're just going to show the new ones?
Yeah, it's a permanent move, but the problem is we don't have enough of the old gloves, so until we can get them all done, yeah, that's it.
Are you going to go back to the gold gloves for the championship fight, just black permanent?
You know what? There were good intentions with the new gloves. We spent a lot of time, energy, and money on them. There were good intentions.
Just get the Pride gloves or design a Pride glove.
Jim Miller, he said that he wants to get to 50 total UFC fights and then hard stop on his career, and you can hold him to that, he says.
Deal.
Just one final one I do have to ask you about. Your friend Mike Tyson tweeted that he almost died over the summer. He said, he had a bunch of blood transfusions just at the fight to get healthy, and then his performance yesterday against Jake Paul. Just your thoughts on what you saw.
Mike Tyson was right, and I was wrong. You guys know the whole story about Shark Week, and if you don't, I begged him not to do the Roy Jones fight. Too old. I love you. I don't want to see you taking any punishment. So I set him up on Shark Week. He got paid good money, and he's like, you fucking. So he almost flipped out the last day and was ready to kill everybody on the boat because he had to jump in with all these sharks again in the middle of Florida. And he's like, this fucking asshole says that he cares about me and everything else. I've been fighting since I was 12. And he throws me in the fucking ocean with a bunch of sharks. He was right about that too. But he basically said, I told him, Mike, basically 60 years old, and he's like, you honestly think this fucking kid's going to do anything to me? He's not good. He's not going to fucking knock me out. He's not going to do this. And you saw him tripped when he was walking down the thing. He had a hard time walking up the stairs. He had a knee brace on. And Jake Paul couldn't do anything to him. He made a ton of money. And I know people are mad. You stayed home on a Saturday night, but you didn't pay for it. You know what I mean? And this is what Mike Tyson. When Mike Tyson shows up, everybody makes money. Jake Paul isn't.
Hey.
I don't have to tell you guys. You guys know. Mike Tyson is the A plus side of that thing. And he was right. Jake Paul couldn't do shit to him. He was right, and I was wrong.
When you say the Tom John fight would be the biggest of all time, you're talking even bigger than the Brock Lesnar days at heavyweight as well.
Be UFC history by a long shot.
When you look at that fight stylistically, right, as you said, John still amazing, still incredibly varied attacks, great IQ, but it would seem that Tom's advantage would be in the speed. When you look at that fight, how do you break it down, and how do you think that could play out?
No idea. I mean, I don't know what John's going to do. John's one of those guys that I was saying earlier has the highest fight IQ. He's like
So
fucking
that's
Elon
2
Musk.
John Jones
Okay,
Aspinall questions so
this
far.
guy is brilliant in there, and the things that he pulls off. Like you didn't see any of the spinning elbows tonight that he does normally. He did all different shit tonight. I'm sure he sat down and watched Stipe's tapes, and I don't know what he'll do with Aspinall.
Michael Chandler getting Charles getting his back and him doing the slams into it. Obviously not advisable, but did you enjoy that as a spectator?
I'm sorry. What did you ask me?
I said, did you enjoy when Chandler threw himself backwards with Charles on his back? I mean, obviously, look, I think he's 2-3 now in the UFC, but every time he goes out there, right, puts on a crazy show. He's one of those fighters that I'm sure you just love to have around, regardless of his win-loss record.
Yeah, I mean, he's like an Arturo Gatti, man. He's one of those guys. Win, lose, or draw.
Do you think
You're never bummed out.
Chandler should wait for McGregor or fight somebody else?
You got to let John do John and go and disappear for a while. But do you have to have a time limit on it for those negotiations? Because obviously Tom's been at.
Of course.
Yeah. Do you have any idea when you sort of think like, hey, come on?
Hey, yeah. Hey.
Hey, Dana. Congratulations on another great night.
Thank you, sir.
Obviously, when you come to New York, it's always a huge card. Best city in the world. Tons of celebrities. We got the great Kid Rock right here. He came to Iraq in 2004 when I was in the army. Did a free concert, so I want to publicly thank him for that.
Yeah, nobody loves it. He's a good man.
With that said, do you ever think about, instead of doing the card just in November, maybe do 2 cards in New York a year?
Yeah, it just, here's the thing, as we go into 25, there's a lot of places that we haven't been pre-COVID, right? And there were places that I didn't want to go until everything started to get back to normal. It's like, New York City, you're not wrong, is one of the greatest cities on earth, right? Since I've been here the last 2 days, this place feels like New York City again. Like, people everywhere, packed, shopping, eating out. There's just a good energy here again, man, and it felt really good. But in 25, we'll probably just come back here once, even though I'd love to come back here more. But there's cities that I'm going to go to next year that we haven't been to in a while. I'm going to do Chicago. I'm going to do Seattle. I'm going to do, a few other places in 25.
Fuck Seattle.
This was a big pay-per-view. Your next pay-per-view, you have the flyweight title fight. You have Kai Asakura in the main event, UFC newcomer. Two-part question, being that a lot of people who don't follow outside of the UFC might not know who he is. Are you worried about not attracting as much fans? But second part, he hasn't fought at flyweight in 7 years.
Yeah.
Is that any of the discussion when you decided he'd get the title shot?
First of all, for people to know who he is and be excited to see him fight, that's my job. Number one. Number two, no, that wasn't. It's very typical for Japan. You know what I mean? They always fight higher than they probably should. But when you come over here, there's a whole nother ball game here. Literally the best in the world are here. But we love this kid, and we think it's going to be an exciting, fun fight.
And my last question, this is your first pay-per-view since Donald Trump won the election. I know he's a close friend of you. But from a business side, how does that change the UFC? Is it positive for the UFC with him being the president, or does it not change anything?
I think it's positive for the world, to be honest with you. I mean, listen, no matter what side of the fence you sit on politically, you cannot deny that there's almost like this weight that's been lifted off the country right now, and this sigh of relief. And things are already getting better. He's not even in there yet. I know most of the people in the room disagree with me, but
Dana, when you
I got one guy back there that's supporting everything I say tonight. Thank you, sir.
Dana, when you heard the crowd's reaction after Bo won and they were booing and chanting overrated, just how did you kind of process that?
Well, we've had these discussions with Bo. Bo needs work.
I think if Bo was on the prelims,
Coming guy.
he wouldn't have been overrated. It would have been a different fight. But the fact that he was on the main card,
and wants to move faster than he should, but tonight showed that he's still dominated. I mean, he won the whole fight, but he's got work to do. It's all right. We'll move him, and
definitely has work to do.
when you're in a position
Don't
like
call
Mo
that
is,
Chimaev bum. That's not a
it's
good
a lot
fight.
of expectations, you know. And you see the size of, I mean, guy's a fucking monster. The president looked at me and said, "These guys are in the same weight class," because he loves Bo Nickel. So I said, "Yeah, they are. It's crazy."
And then on the Chandler side of it, afterwards, right, eventually calls out Conor McGregor again. Like, do you even go down that road? Like,
Who did? Bo?
no, Chandler.
Oh, Chandler.
Is that like a waste at this point?
Connor's gonna come back late 25. So
Now we got late 25 for Conor. Remember when he was fighting 2 years ago?
Tonight, some interesting records, right? Jim
Do you think we
Salinger,
ever see
25
Conor
fights,
McGregor fight
20
again?
John Jones, the first to have a 20-fight
Or is
unbeaten
Conor
streak.
done?
Charles Oliveira, the first to get 20 bonuses in the UFC. Which one of those is most
Do we
impressive?
ever see Conor McGregor fight again?
they're all impressive in their own ways. I mean, if you look at
Or is Conor McGregor going to jail?
doing what he's doing still, the level he's doing it, that's obviously
Which
super
would be
impressive.
terrible.
And John Jones, you guys don't want to fucking hear it, but and then Oliveira, yeah, he's such a beast, man. Kid's incredible. They're all great in their own way.
John has made it clear in kind of the interviews he's done, he wants to be well compensated for this Tom fight. And I know the last time
Third
was
Tom
fighting,
Aspinall,
or with the Francis
John
Ngannou
Jones.
fight, you said you wanted 30 million. There's the Anthony Joshua money quote and stuff. Do you feel like this could be leading to that same type of friction, or do you think it'll be an easier negotiation this time?
Sean's always been well compensated. You know, he's always been well compensated. I would never put his total purse number out there. It's fucking massive. The number that he went over tonight, he's made a lot of money in his career. Listen, you don't fight and then disappear for 5 years because you weren't well compensated. It makes a lot of money. So he'll make a lot more.
Dana's hinting that this pay-per-view did pretty good, so John passed that incentive level with the pay-per-view sales that he's going to get well compensated for this fight.
Do you think Serrano? I'm over here in the middle, Dana. Do you think Serrano won, as she's saying on socials, or?
I don't know. I mean, I was watching it, but I wasn't scoring it. But it was a great fight. Those girls were banging, throwing tons of combos, and that's the other thing. I mean, all the people that are, there's a lot of in Portnoy went out.
We all love hearing yes.
Yeah.
We're looking for a
It's like as soon as Dana came out, they put the ads on.
shopping for the products we need for
60 years old. He's Mike Tyson, but he's 60 years old, and he knew that Jake Paul couldn't do anything to him. So you knew what you were going to get when you saw that fight. But you can't be mad; it was fucking free. We all got Netflix anyway, right? And you got to watch the girls fight. And the girls fight was good. I know a lot of people were pissed, but bit of a shit show. But what did you expect? Seriously, when you stayed home and you turned on Netflix that night, were you like, "Holy fuck, I'm about to see the greatest live sporting event of all time"? No, you fucking did not. You got exactly what you thought you were going to get.
I was there for the Serrano Taylor, but
Oh, you were there and you flew back here? Oh,
no, to watch.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
watching.
Yeah, you're right. And that's the listen. If you're a fight fan, you're right. You're right.
Dana, going off that, sorry, because
Yep.
you just cut me off before. You were obviously watching the event. What did you think of like the production and stuff for Netflix? Because I imagine as you guys go into this negotiation for the next television rights,
Well, nobody does my production. I do. That's been my deal. But that's not the deal with almost every sport. Maybe every sport, as far as I know. But not me. Nobody's going to control my product. I do. And for Netflix, this thing was brilliant because you knew it was going to pull a massive number because of Mike Tyson, right? And to be fair to Jake, you're going to tune in to watch him get knocked out, hopefully, right? That's what everybody wants to see. And but they needed to do this test. They got the NFL coming at Christmas. They're just getting into live sports. They needed to do this to test it, to test something that they knew they would pull a big number on, and Mike Tyson pulls big numbers.
And you booked this Ian Gary versus Shavkat fight for the next pay-per-view. No interim title, just a co-main event, 5 rounds.
a number one contender fight. You do 5 rounds, which is great for both of those.
What do you guys think of Ian Gary versus Shavkat?
And when do you ever have a fight, especially in MMA? We have 2 undefeated guys. You got an 18-0 with a 100% finish rate and a 15-0. You know, 2 of the best young up-and-coming prospects in the division to face off to see who's the number one contender.
Shavkat tweeted out that he was really disappointed in the division. He said basically everyone ranked above Ian turned the fight down. Was it difficult to get the fight made?
No, not at all. Listen, all these guys get disappointed about. I mean, you want to talk about disappointment? Chris Weidman's probably the most disappointed dude on the planet right now. That's the sport, and it happens.
Oh yeah, that's terrible.
And you announced the Q1 schedule tonight. That came out, and you're going to the Intuit Dome in LA in January. Why go there instead of Staples Center? What's appealing about
It's new. I like new arenas, new technology, and yeah, this place is supposed to be badass. So I'm looking forward to checking it out. I can't wait.
Congrats on tonight.
Thank you, sir.
You've turned the UFC into this global entity, powerful. You mentioned that. I think for boxing fans, it was frustrating last night. So often in our lives, when boxing's had big moments, they've stumbled. That's kind of where the UFC flourishes. Is that still an option for you to revamp the boxing world, or is that just too complicated a task?
No, it's the question. It's the question to ask. We're gonna find out. I'm interested in trying to hammer something out right now. If it gets done, it'll probably be done February, and then we'll find out. It needs to be ripped right down to the ground and rebuilt. When we started this company, we had like 13 contracts. Nobody knew anybody. We weren't on television. We had a direct TV deal where we did like fucking 2,500 buys every time we did a show. And we literally built it from the ground up. That's how you do it. I don't know if there's ever been a sporting, a business, or anything in the history of the world that has brought in trillions of dollars, trillions in revenue. And at the end of the day, there's nothing left. There's nothing there. So that's the plan.
The odds for Tom and John were
Oh my God, 4 Tom Aspinall, John Jones.
John being a +115 on Curious Wicked Nigga Odds.
It's awesome. I love it.
Just one other last one I remembered. It was announced Nick Diaz is probably out of his fight against Vicente Luque. Does that have anything to do with that video of Nick that came out?
That Nick's out of the fight?
Yeah, that's been reported.
Shit, I didn't even know that.
Okay. Well, have you been made aware of that video of Nick going around social media?
I've seen a lot of videos of Nick. And Nate.
Dana, the UFC signed Mikey Musumeci to the first BJJ exclusive promotional contract in UFC history. Can you just talk more about the work that went into that? You said it's been in the works for over a year.
I mean,
We did not get the clarification there if the Nick Diaz Luque fight is on.
So he's one of many. We'll go after all the greatest guys in the world.
Congrats on the night, on a phenomenal night.
Thank you, sir.
Wanted to ask you, were there any upcoming fighters or couple guys on the undercard you're actually excited about potential matchups happening later? And also, just to emphasize the impact of tonight with the past presidential election and everything going on the grandest.
These mushrooms make you feel better.
Very long-winded question. I didn't even mention Trump. The fucking guy mentioned him. And the thing just popped up in my fucking TikTok.
I don't really
About the
understand
presidential election.
the
Again, fuck the
election,
Associated
but
Press.
like I said earlier,
They're corrupt
I can
bullshit.
feel the difference. When I go into places like New York that's normally crazy blue,
Get that shit off my fucking thing.
thanking me and saying, and New York has a completely different vibe this time than the last, several times that I've been here. It feels like New York again. It does. One down, one to go. LA. Let's get LA back.
Dana, just in general, like, why do you think your fighters kind of relate well to Trump? Because, like, back to back, it was Poe, then Chandler, then John. Why do you think they relate so well to the president?
Well, if you saw the election, the entire country relates with Trump right now. Won all the swing states. The only states she won were the ones that you didn't need ID to vote in. It would have been interesting if you needed ID, how that would have played out too. I think that
think the whole country, it feels like somebody hit the reset button. Everything feels, and however this election went, everybody was hoping it was a blowout either way, so there would be no more bullshit. And what I think is, I think everybody's tired of the bullshit, man. We're all tired. We all just want to live our lives and run our businesses and raise our families and do all that shit. And hopefully this stuff will all simmer down in the next 4 years. So I've had this philosophy for the last 5 years that traditional media is dead, and it doesn't hold the influence that it used to hold. Two most hated people in this world right now are the media and the politicians. Nobody trusts them, and nobody believes them. And the true influence right now is with these kids that are on the internet, called influencers. So I've been creating relationships with these people over the last, like I said, 4 or 5 years. And this election was won on the internet. The way Power Slap was built is the way this election was won. And Hispanic vote was incredibly powerful. The male black vote and the youth. The youth all came out. So
You've worked with John Jones for 16 years. You've seen him go through ups and downs in and outside of the cage. Outside of his fighting career, what do you think is your most impactful moment you've had with John?
Outside of what? His fighting career?
Yep, outside of the cage.
Me and John Jones never got along outside of the cage. We've had a horrendous relationship for 16 years. Not 16, call it 10, 12.
I'm sure he's happy that you're claiming him as a pound-for-pound number one.
Because it's a fact. We don't have to like each other. We don't have to whatever. I'm not saying we don't have that kind of relationship anymore, but I don't have to like him to realize who he is and what he's capable of and see the brilliance. He is the best to ever fight in a fucking fight, period. Ever. Unless like maybe in the Roman days. I don't know fucking anybody that fought back then, but since people have been fucking documenting fighting, he's the best ever.
And one last question from me. Benham has come out with a lot of custom shorts this year. 4 fighters on today's card had them. Which ones are your favorite of this year?
I don't even know anything about any of them.
All good?
That is way out of my fucking wheelhouse.
That was a dumb question.
You've hit 100 shows.
What was your favorite pair of shorts?
This year, 17 out of 28 UFC fight nights will have taken place inside the Apex. With every other sport back to pre-pandemic operations, do you plan on getting on the road more than 50% of the shows this year?
Yeah. I'm the one that got all the sports back on the road.
That you did,
yeah.
and I've wondered why we're still at the Apex.
Because you know what? I had a problem going to a lot of places at one point. I said, you know where I'm going to go? I'm going to go to places where it's easy to run my business, and we're not going to have to deal with any bullshit. So, we where we've been, the usual suspects. So we're going to start hitting a lot of those places this year, and yes, sir, we will travel fight nights more too.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Dana, over here.
Yeah.
Dana.
Yeah.
Here. Dana.
Yeah.
Here.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Coming to this room, a guy told me he have a cancer and 1 month to live, but that he was happy to have seen a UFC event. How do you feel providing this kind of emotion for people?
Help me.
He said there was I believe he said there was someone he met that was dying from cancer, but
What was it?
he said, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, he met a fan that was dying from cancer and he was happy that he was able to see him.
Do we have a translator here? Oh, John Jones kid. The guy with John Jones?
No. Just a guy in this Madison Square Garden.
Miho's down 10%.
That are dying of cancer and all these different things, and we always bring people in to experience it. And how does it make me feel? Incredible that people who are dying want to come here and see an event. You know what I mean?
He was very happy in here.
Makes me happy. Yes, sir.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Another John and Tom question. This is, I think, 4 or 5.
It doesn't have the potential to. It's going to be. It's going to be the biggest heavyweight fight ever. It'll probably be the biggest fight we've ever done. And
definitely won't be bigger than Conor versus.
I hate them. I like arenas. It's just such a better vibe. People can see better. Probably not.
I don't think there will ever be a fight bigger than Conor versus.
Could be anywhere. Could literally be anywhere.
And over here, just quickly, obviously you don't make the fights on the night, but I'd imagine if Chandler had beaten Oliveira, it would have been Oliveira's obviously going to move on and be fighting up the division. Does the result almost kind of help him in getting that McGregor fight back on track a little bit? The fact that it didn't go his way tonight.
I don't know. I mean, anything's possible. Listen, like I said, he's like Arturo Gatti. You know what I mean? People want to see him fight, win, lose, or draw. He's always exciting. He's always fun. I mean, the last round of that fight, he kept getting taken down, get on his back. So when he got on his back,
I can't believe Chandler got taken down that many times by Oliveira. That's just crazy.
He always tries to win. He always comes to fight, and Michael Chandler's always going to have a home here. I mean, until he decides to retire, Michael Chandler isn't going anywhere. Will he fight Conor? I don't know.
With regards, Conor, you mentioned on the Jim Rome show and again today that it's going to be the end of
Thank you for the
next year, which
likes.
will bring him over 4 years out of the octagon. But I spoke to him a couple weeks ago, and he seemed more like he was maybe going to fight on February 1st. Where's the disconnect there?
Who felt like that?
Conor.
Conor? The disconnect in me? And there's no doubt that Conor hits me up all the time. Conor wants to fight. I told you guys that he probably wouldn't fight in 24, and he didn't. He's going to fight in 25, probably at the end of the year. If it's earlier, it's good for all of us.
Why so late?
When it's going to play out. Thank you. Yeah.
The guy is currently on trial for rape. I think he has to get through that trial before he can even start thinking about a fight. I doubt he's training Conor.
You know what tonight told me? There's no fucking way I make the Pereira fight. John's too big. Great wrestler. See how he took Stipe down in that first round? I like Alex Pereira. I like him personally.
But he's
just
the greatest of all time, right?
It just doesn't.
I don't like that. You gotta give. I think you're taking away from Pereira for that fight. Give Pereira the chance to become the first 3-weight world champion.
Maybe I would do it. It's just Alex Pereira is killing it. Look at his age and what he's doing right now. What's the reason to go up and fight a guy that's so much bigger than you and such a good wrestler? What is it? Money? Yeah. No, you're right. That's definitely a reason. But just so we're clear,
Does anybody like Pereira versus John Jones? I actually like that fight.
I want Pereira to stay where he is and do what he does, and run the street. But again, if they go crazy on me and they want to do it, then what am I going to do? They're grown-ass men, and I'm sure the fans want to see it. I'm sure you want to see it. I guess we'll talk about it.
And the second question, off topic a little bit. Before the fight, you said you're gonna announce the Makachev Tsarukyan soon. Is it still like actual, or?
I said I was going to announce what?
The Tsarukyan and Makachev fight.
Oh, Tsarukyan and
Makachev, yeah, in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Is it like already like done, or you're still working on it? Because
did I announce it?
No, you didn't. But you said you're gonna announce it.
I said I was going to announce it after this fight at the press conference.
No.
You're good, sir.
Sorry. Two quick questions. Some fighters have said that they like the new gloves. Is there any thought about just
one guy? All right.
Two.
They're back.
No, just saying let the fighters choose. Is that a? I know you said you're waiting to get more gloves in, but if any fighters still want to use the new gloves, two guys said that their hands felt really good after the fight. They gave better protection. Any thought on that?
You know how fucking good that is to hear, sir? You know how much money I spent on this? Money, time, energy. I'm very happy that two guys love the gloves. I'm really happy.
There might be more than two, but
There might be. Speak up now or forever hold your peace. Yeah, I'm glad to hear it.
the last question I have is it seemed like you might have softened your stance on an outdoor venue, perhaps for, say, a UFC Africa, or perhaps even a smaller arena than you might normally do.
And why is that? Why do you say that?
Saw an interview a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I think.
Every patient has a story of strength and courage.
Terrible YouTube.
So all the top executives from the Yankees were here tonight, and the president of the Yankees told me that they would love to do a fight at Yankee Stadium outside and all this stuff. It's just we did one fight outside one time at Abu Dhabi. The heat was a problem. The humidity was a problem. The bugs were a problem. I mean, just
Yankee Stadium
I
is
don't
cool,
like doing things in places or
in the
environments
spring
that affect the fight.
or this
You know, and
early
all of
summer.
those things affect a fight, the outcome of a fight. And again, I don't like the viewing experience for the fans either.
So would that some of these smaller stadiums, since there aren't any large,
They used to have pretty big boxing matches at the old Yankee Stadium.
is that going to be large enough to entice the UFC to go, or still waiting for hopefully some place to come up with something larger?
I don't know. I know everybody thinks we do everything for money, but everything isn't about money for me. It's more about an experience. I never, ever want people to turn off the television and feel the way they felt last night after they watch a fight. I want the exact opposite. I want people to be like,
Oh, yeah, I did feel
gotta
fucking
stay home,
shame
gotta watch it.
after
I'm pissed
watching
I paid for
Tyson
it.
versus Jake Paul. I felt like
And
shit.
especially people who travel. So there will be people that will fly.
Like I patronize, whatever the word would be.
Dinners, shopping,
That fucking
just to
bullshit.
fight, and then go there and have a bad experience. Whether it's any of those things, the weather, the wind, the heat,
Like
the humidity,
I heard
the bugs.
outrageous
I mean,
numbers for
any of that
tickets.
stuff.
Imagine if you spend $1 million on
You have to be
tickets
able to control
to see
everything a
Jake
little bit
Paul
more.
versus Mike Tyson.
I can control everything that happens inside this arena.
I mean, if you got money to burn, that's one thing, but
Everybody fell on the ground.
that
That
shit's
kind of
terrible.
shit will happen here and there. But in all the years we've been doing it, it's happened one time, right? I can't control what happens when that cage door shuts. And if we're outside, I can't control anything. Nothing. Anything can happen. And I hate that. I don't like that feeling.
Some would argue that there's plenty of other sports that live through it just fine.
But
But
people
they
don't
aren't
get
combat sports.
exactly. Big difference if you're kicking a soccer ball or, fucking hitting home runs, whatever. Totally different. I mean, they even stop in rain in baseball, right? I mean, yeah. You can't stop. We can't have a rain delay. Because it's fucking ridiculous, and it will never happen as long as I'm alive. That's never going to happen. We're never going to have a rain delay in the UFC. Yeah. Think about, again, last night, boxing, right? These guys will do a fight, then have a fucking podcast for an hour and 30 minutes before the next fucking fight comes on, right? We're going to do a rain delay? It's never going to happen, man. You know what we do? We go boom, 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 and all the fights fucking roll all night. All the shit talk's done. You don't need to see fucking Rosie Perez breaking down fights and
A lot of shade thrown to Rosie Perez, not just by Dana, but I saw a lot of people commenting that, myself included. I was like,
have a great night, everybody. Thank you.
Why the fuck did they get Rosie Perez? All the people they could have got to be the color in the commentary booth, they got Rosie Perez. Just because she knows Mike Tyson from 30 years ago and has a story of Mike Tyson going up to a guy with a gun. They brought her in for that fight. The fuck? So I think it was five times they asked Dana White about John Jones and Tom Aspinall. Let's see how many times they asked John Jones the same question. 3, 2.5, 3.5. What's the over? What's the under? What do you got? Easily 2. Probably 3 or 4. Unless John says, don't ask me that shit again. Or does an amazing pivot like he did in the Octagon, where they were like, do you want to fight Tom Aspinall? Joe Rogan was like, you want to fight Tom Aspinall? He was like, hey, how about this? Jesus Christ. John Jones is a pretty smart guy. He knew how to totally flip the script on everybody in the arena right there. What were we going to boo John because he said Jesus after he didn't acknowledge Tom Aspinall? There were people that probably got that boo ready, and then he said Jesus, and they were like, "Oh, whoa!" He said Jesus. He didn't say no. He just said Jesus. But they were ready. Scream duck and start quacking. And he said Jesus, and they were like, "Whoa, put that one back in. Keep the T off." Ronald H. Thank you for the follow. What we got here in this purple suit? Oh, Oliveira. You don't even speak English, bro. You don't even speak English, bro. Yeah, I hate when they do the translator stuff. Because unless I have a translator or someone fact checking the translator, I don't think they ever fucking translate it the way the question is asked. Ever. I hope Oliveira's like, Conor McGregor, taking everything I worked for, motherfucker. You're fucking man.
No, I didn't want it to reach 5 rounds. But I told people I was gonna be, hunting for him all along, trying to finish the fight. But when you put two tough dudes against each other, that's what happens.
How was he on the canvas? Because obviously you found yourself in a lot of very unorthodox positions, especially in those early rounds. I think you were basically sitting on top of him, and he was able to survive. So just skill-wise, what was it like to be grappling with a guy like Mike?
Cara, como é que era no chão? Porque você, em vários rounds, você tava em posições bem esquisitas. Às vezes, uma hora que você tá sentado nele, ele luta, ele tenta sair. Como é que é lutar contra um cara como ele?
Cara, na realidade, a gente tá falando sobre MMA, é tudo muito imprevisível. Isso aí mostra, na realidade, quanto eu evoluí, quanto que eu cresci, sabe, dentro da luta. Se fosse há um tempo atrás, eu teria apertado para tentar finalizar, eu teria explodido para tentar ficar na posição melhor. Não, não faço isso.
Actually, this is MMA, and I think, all you want to do is win, and I think it only shows how much I evolved and how much I got better. An old Charles.
Is Nate Diaz's call out Conor McGregor the greatest call out in history? Where it was like, Conor McGregor, I'm gonna fight your fucking ass, taking everything I worked for, motherfucker.
That fifth round, obviously
I'm gonna fight your fucking ass. Nah, fuck that. Might be the greatest call out, post fight call out in MMA history. Oh yeah, Rosie Perez was catching so many strikes. Everybody I saw the fight was fixed, and as much as I saw the fight was fixed, I saw what the fuck is Rosie Perez doing? Why is Rosie Perez here? Who the fuck is Rosie Perez? Like someone at Netflix was like, I got it. Rosie Perez is gonna do color commentary on one fight, the whole card. Do you know how many people tuned in because they knew Rosie Perez was on the card? Probably one. And it was like Rosie Perez's sister. Nobody gave a fuck Rosie Perez was there. Mike Tyson didn't even realize she was there. Rosie Perez I'm gonna fight your fucking ass. Taking everything I worked for, motherfucker.
There was also some eye pokes, and I was telling him what was going on. I kept calling for his attention, and
Do you think Oliveira should wait for the winner of? Does he even get the winner of Arman versus Islam? Did Islam beat him twice? I feel like Islam beat him twice.
What do you remember from just that entire sequence, and what did you say right when the clock was ticking down? E essa loucura toda que aconteceu no final, de repente você sobe
Or no, that second fight fell out. Second fight fell out. Okay, okay.
Faz isso de novo,
Islam was gonna
na
beat
hora
him
que quando acabou o
twice,
tempo vocês estavam conversando um com o outro. O que você
but he lost to Arman. He lost to Islam. All right, so he has a chance to fight either one again. I don't know why I was thinking, but I guess that fight fell out. I was thinking he fought. Okay, Charles fell out of that fight, and it was Volkanovski. Okay, so he's still in the mix. I felt like he was out of place asking for that fight, but then no, he didn't lose to Islam twice.
show stuff to people. You want to maybe show what you're all about to people. You don't. It's not needed. It doesn't. I didn't worry about also at all. If you were loose there,
Yeah,
you get hurt. But if you actually just tighten up, nothing happens to you. He did that in the first fight. He did that twice in this one. So
the translator's definitely not translating what he just said. One thing I am seeing is the whole fucking side, the whole right side of Oliveira's face is swollen, like fucked up swollen. What is it? Yeah, the whole right side of his face. Bro, he beat Chandler soundly, but he was very close in that fifth round from getting stopped. But yeah, his face is fucked up.
so happy. I don't come looking for the bonus. The bonus finds me. I'm very happy.
His face is fucked up.
Dominates a rift with Offridge.
Chandler, I beat you. Now I'm fighting Conor McGregor. Red panty night. Question is, who does Michael Chandler fight now? Michael Chandler's up there in age. He just wasted 2 years of his prime. Or 2 years of the end of his prime. The past his prime a little bit, but does he wait till the end of 2025? Or Chandler control Conor and be like, I'm fighting Dan Hooker in February. You don't even fucking fight. I'm fighting Dan Hooker. I'm rematching Dan Hooker. But yeah, it looks like Oliveira has like a cheek full of sunflower seeds or something. But I think it's just his face is swollen.
Didn't want to talk about it before, but yes, I did have a knee injury, and I wanted to. I spent a lot of time actually without training. Things were tough, and I wanted to thank first and foremost my team for not letting me back down, letting me quit, letting me stop, and making this happen. I want to also thank the team from New On. They supported me throughout, and also to thank God about the opportunity and being able to be here.
I feel like every time you fight, your opponents sometimes bring up this concept of you being a quitter or having quit in the past. The fact that you weren't able to train that effectively and still went in there and went 5 rounds and won the fight, does that prove? Do you enjoy proving to everyone that you're not a quitter and in fact actually you're one of the best in the game?
Eu sinto que todas as vezes que a gente fala de você com oponentes, se oponentes a usarem alguma capacidade, essa história de você desistir,
abandonar o barco. Você acha que depois de um camp como esse, tudo que você passou, tá com uma lesão no joelho, você vira aqui, continuar com a luta em pé, vira aqui, fazer o que você fez, cada vez mais você gosta de provar para as pessoas que você
Cara, sendo bem sincero, eu nem ligo porque esses caras falam. Esses caras têm que inventar alguma coisa pra falar.
That me. I've almost streamed myself to sleep.
Eu quero vir aqui, tá bem, tá feliz e fazer aquilo acontecer.
Really, it don't matter what those people say, because they always have to make up stuff to talk. All I want to do is just train, be happy, come here with the team, and make it happen.
Another thing that seems to come
What I do?
up a lot of the times when you fight is that you're the coolest fighter in the UFC. I'm curious if you agree with that assessment.
E muita gente fala que você é o lutador mais bacana do UFC, cara. Você acha que você é o cara do UFC?
Isso aí sim, com certeza. Cara, eu trato todo mundo do mesmo jeito. Com todo o carinho, todo o respeito do mundo. Sou muito grato pelo carinho de todas as pessoas. Principalmente porque eu não falo inglês e, sabe, tipo, as pessoas me respeitam da mesma forma. Então eu sou muito grato por isso.
I feel that too. Yes. Listen, I'm so grateful for the love of the people, for the fact that they respect me so much. I mean, I don't speak the language, and people still respect me for everything that I am. So I'm very grateful for that.
It's a very cool suit as well.
Yeah, yeah. Esse tá bacana.
Charles, aqui. Eu sou teu vizinho, eu sou de Santos, na verdade. Eu sou moro próximo a você e primeira vez que eu consigo te entrevistar aqui. Eu já vi em alguns UFCs. Muito bacana falar contigo, cara. Você é um ídolo pra gente. Deixa eu te falar uma coisa. Você já ganhou o cinturão, é recordista de bônus do UFC. Nesse momento da sua carreira, você vai pra tentar o cinturão de novo. Mas existe algum lutador que você nunca enfrentou que você gostaria muito de lutar contra?
You've won the belt. You've won. You've gotten so many bonus, so many finishes. You've gotten a lot. You're going for a second belt again. But is there any fighter that you never fought against that you would like to face?
Pô, irmão, obrigado pelo carinho. Espero que a gente continue metendo essa sequência de bônus aí, de finalizações, de recordes, que são mais importantes. Cara, eu tô aqui pra fazer história. Eu não fico escolhendo o adversário nem nada. Eu tô em busca de um título. Tô em busca de fazer história, de aumentar meu legado. Então, aquilo que for pra gente crescer, tiver uma luta nessa categoria de cima, aquilo que for pra gente crescer, eu tô aqui pronto.
I want to make history. I'm here to build on the legacy. I want to continue this. I mean, more bonuses, more finishes. I'm here to, to anything that makes us grow, anything that props us up. So if anything, another belt, maybe some fights up in the, maybe a heavier division, wherever need be, we're gonna do that. We're gonna be ready for it.
Conor McGregor faria sentido pra você?
Against Conor McGregor, would that make sense for you?
Cara, esse cara eu já falei já.
Yes.
Essa luta nunca vai acontecer.
I like Oliveira versus McGregor.
This is the guy that runs away the most in the UFC. This fight's not gonna happen.
That sucks.
Would it make sense?
Brandon.
Yes. Would it be a good fight? Yes.
Brandon Calpito has hemorrhoids.
Self fights well, but he chooses his opponents. This fight's gonna happen.
Muito obrigado e bora pro cinturão.
É isso, valeu.
You gotta do something about that, Brandon.
I know you said the Conor fight might not happen, but say it does happen. You have this tradition of shaking your opponent's hand.
Experience all that Volvo has to offer here at Volvo Cars.
Do something. Well, TMI though. For an MMA chat. Combat sports chat.
Com certeza. O que ele fala pra mim não faz diferença. Minha pessoa não vai mudar. Eu vou lá, se ele não quiser me cumprimentar.
Did anybody win any money on any parlays tonight?
It doesn't change who I am. I'm going to go.
I saw a few of them come into the chat.
Doesn't want to shake hands with me. That's a problem, but I will continue to do it.
Charles, this is actually over your 30th fight in the UFC, but it's only the first time that you've been past round 3. How did you feel to finally hit those championship rounds?
That was crazy that fight went 5 rounds. I'll admit, I was one of the skeptics. I didn't think Oliveira would have 5-round cardio.
Eu nunca cheguei pela primeira vez. Mas foi bom, isso aí mostrou.
Did almost get knocked out in the 5th round.
O quanto que a gente é gigante, o quanto que Deus é bom pra gente, porque a gente vencemos todos
But again, the wrestling. Oliveira showed great wrestling. And also, though, for Oliveira, who's not the greatest wrestler, but showed great wrestling tonight. So either he's working on it or just Chandler is not who Chandler used to be. Like Islam or Arman would have fucking mauled the Michael Chandler that Oliveira fought tonight. Like they would have took him down with ease and beat the shit out of him. Oliveira was giving Chandler some moments on the feet where he could do those wild swings from the hip and almost land a haymaker.
Those, but if the moment calls for it, we was actually on top of him at one point. Diego yelled and said, "Listen, you can use all kinds of elbows now." So if the moment is there, we took advantage of it.
Oliveira was definitely throwing 12 to 6 elbows all night. John Jones surprisingly wasn't throwing 12 to 6 elbows. He was just throwing elbows. That first round, though, John was on top of Stipe. He could have thrown some elbows.
I'm not looking for any of them. I'm looking for that belt. Whoever's got that belt, that's what I want.
Do you think Oliveira ever becomes champion again? Or he can't handle the Russians? I mean, was him and Arman 3 rounds or 5 rounds? I think 3 rounds. Is John Jones even showing up to this post-fight press conference? Or is he canceling it because they know they're going to ask? They just asked Dana 5 Tom Aspinall questions. And we know John's going to party right now. I mean, it'd be funny to me. Great. If that becomes John's new thing, where they're like, well, Tom Aspinall and you might have a fight. And he goes, listen, guys, let's real quick, we'll just bow our head in prayer. Thank you, Jesus, Lord. You know, you can't boo a man who's talking about Jesus. That really was some black.
When we started using,
oh, you want to bring up Tom Aspinall? We're going to talk about Jesus first. My Lord and Savior, JC. What do you guys think of John Jones's YMCA dance? Have any of you in the chat ever done the YMCA dance? For Donald. Oh, we got John Jones. Not a scratch on him. Little mouse under his eye.
Stylist made me wear those goofy ass sunglasses. Yeah, you feeling it? I roll with it. All right, cool. Well, John, congratulations on a successful title defense at heavyweight. So, I guess you know, like you talked at media day, fighting in Madison Square Garden was important to you. Fighting in New York, fighting Stipe. So, now that you got through it in like such impressive fashion, I guess what are the emotions now? I feel really, really great. You know, I haven't watched the fight yet.
I always think that's such a dumb question. Your emotions. Can you tell me about your emotions? Their emotions, bro. Like, how are you feeling? Do you feel? How does that feel? Ask a question with some substance.
Relative to what you, the game plan you guys put together and how it played out, is that relatively how you saw it? Like the trip at the beginning, the elbows, that we, the 12-6 we saw in there.
Yeah. The coaches definitely wanted me to find that 12-6 elbow. I wish I could have landed it more legit. Stipe did a really good job.
I don't feel like he landed any 12-6 elbows. He won. He definitely, Stipe definitely had a nice little ego dump when John tripped him like that. Like, motherfucker. That's like the cheesiest. It's effective, but like the cheese, when you get taken down with that, you're the cheesiest fucking takedown. It's literally the type of takedown where you can, as you're doing it, go judo trip. That is crazy though, that he landed a spinning back kick, a heavyweight spinning back kick. Who at heavyweight has spinning back kick knockouts besides John Jones and Chris Barnett? Have there been any other spinning back kick knockouts at heavyweight? All they're doing is spamming the chat with ducks. He ain't ducking Tom Aspinall. He just wants money. He wants the proper compensation. You ever see that meme where the kid's sitting there and the veins are bulging out of his head, and it's like fighting the urge to. Everyone in that room right now is like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna get to ask him the Tom Aspinall question."
I really wanted to hit him with that same shot, but once I felt his punching power, I didn't want to lean to the right, my left. I didn't want to be by his right side at all because catching one of his straight rights could end your night. And so instead of
That's definitely the thing to see. Hopefully, someone makes a highlight reel out of it. Is John Jones was getting hit by Stipe and just walking through them. Sometimes, even when Stipe wouldn't land, he would do the little runaway reaction or start backpedaling with his hands down. But when Stipe would hit him clean, John didn't even react. Like he ate some very good right hands from Stipe.
No, I didn't get a chance to talk to him. I spoke to every one of his coaches at different times. Some on Octagon, some backstage.
Cancer can affect many parts of your body.
I just feel like anybody would understand at this point. Like, I'll retire the heavyweight belt if I have to. Like, dude, give the guy what he wants at the end of the day, And I'm not talking to Dana directly. I feel like at a place now where, I want to take
Absolutely. Just pay the guy, overpay the guy, give him what he wants. You guys, UFC, you will make it back. You will make it back.
champions. So Tom can have the heavyweight championship. I don't really care about it. My value doesn't lie in belts anymore. I've created something much bigger.
Even like now, Tom Aspinall needs to crash the post-fight presser and talk shit to John Jones.
That's not a fight he wants to see because he thinks your skills with the wrestling and the size would sort of outweigh what Pereira has to offer. I'm curious what you think about Dana's take on that.
And styles mix matchups, and I'm sure Pereira's knocked out many heavyweights in his day. When he has a knockout power that transcends, like it's bigger than weight. Pereira's special, and for me, it'd just be worth my while fighting against Pereira. People can call me a duck and a chicken. I'm gonna go home and cash a massive check, and so the duck and chicken thing is kind of funny.
See, he's just chasing a super fight, just a big payday. UFC holds all the cards right now. Just pay him to fight Aspinall. And dangle the carrot of, you beat Aspinall, we'll give you Tejada, MSG. Next year.
In front of my president, man, if that was my last fight ever, then I'm cool with that. That was the way to do it. I did the Donald Trump. That was the way to do it, man. So, I think one of the really good things about negotiating is being willing to walk away from a deal, and that's the deal that I want. And if that's not what the fans want, then I guess I'll say sayonara.
You mentioned about sometimes you would hit Stipe and he'd show no reaction. In the first round, I actually couldn't believe
Ooh,
he showed no
he
reaction
kind
to
of
elbows.
walks
The fact
back.
that he wasn't cut. When you were landing those elbows, were you a little bit surprised? Like, what is this guy actually made of here?
It was weird, bro. Standing in front of him, his head seemed massive. Like, seriously, like, and I'm not trying to insult him. His head seemed massive. It was like a video game character. I'm like, I've never seen anything like this. I had to get past that. I'm like, what is this? And then when I would hit him, it just seemed like he didn't feel a jawline thing. He just showed no reaction. I think a lot of fighters would have quit getting that level of ground and pound, but he has this ability to just take shots. And I started to knew as the time was going on that his body was going to be the only way to victory, and started to really look for the body shots.
Two more quick ones from me. Obviously you mentioned about the disrespect Stipe has shown you, and you mentioned the clip of him talking about your children. There's been a clip going around online of him on a podcast, I think, with Rampage Jackson. Was that the clip you were referring to?
No. It was him in his living room, and I don't remember exactly how it was said, but pretty much what he was saying was, when my kids look back on me and my past, at least my kids will never think that I'm an asshole. And the MMA fan base, they're good. I know they're going to find it. And I wouldn't make that up. And even if I did make it up, it's the fight business. If I need to hype myself up, I'll hype myself up. But the truth is, he did say it. He did call me a bitch. And tonight I made him pay for it.
Last one for me. You mentioned training the spinning back kick for 3 hours a week and stuff.
I didn't make it up. But even if I did make it up.
Stipe, or did you just fancy adding something cool to your arsenal and wanted to work on it?
I realized that I did the spinning back kick pretty naturally from the southpaw stance. I can't call it natural. I spent many years working with Brandon Gibson on that move.
I feel like Stipe's done the spinning back before. Just didn't land like that.
The spinning kick is a move that can drop an elephant if you do it right. It's a devastating move, in my opinion, the most powerful kick in martial arts. And we've all seen me fight for a while now. I don't really have one punch So my mind was, John, why not develop a technique that could stop any man? And I came
That
up with
is
spinning
the
back kicks.
rumor. I'm sure you guys can Google it and find
He
it.
could
That's
be
supposedly the only
a
time John
great
Jones has
fighter,
ever been
but
dropped
if I
in
catch you
sparring.
just right,
Was a spinning back kick
I'm gonna go
from
down, no matter how well
some
you work.
185
So
pounder.
I'll continue to work it, and I'll have some. I'm just gonna continue to work it. I'm sure all future opponents saw that and it was just like that could easily happen to me. So I'm gonna work it more and more and more.
John, both of your brothers were in the NFL. You're the greatest of all time. I want to know, honest answer. Who do you believe is the best athlete out of you and your brothers?
Best athlete Chandler, my little brother Chandler. Chandler's an extraordinary human being. He's a really special young man. I love him to death. And
Wix, one platform, any website.
Way too many ads, UFC. Turn that shit off.
Speaking of your family, your mother would be so proud of you today. I want to know if you look back from when she passed to now. I like to know how much have you felt you've grown as a person, and how proud would she
Way
be
too many
of
ads.
how you did today?
my mom used to worry about me. I was the one son that she stayed up all night. I was the first one to stop coming home at night, spending the night, staying out at parties. My mom used to worry about me a lot. She used to pray for me a lot. And I know for a fact that she'd be incredibly proud of the man that I'm turning into. I can't say turned into because we are all works in progress, you know. But the man that I'm turning into, I know for a fact she would be very proud. I shouldn't say she would be. I know for a fact that she is very proud of me. I actually had a dream about her this morning where I was hanging out with my dad, and we kind of got sick of each other, and so I was like, I'm gonna go call mom. And the moment that I was heading to call my mom, I woke up this morning, and I know that was a dream that was meant for me today, just to let me know that I can talk to her, and it was a beautiful thing. I was at breakfast with my team, and I was just crying. I was just crying this morning, just thinking about my mother. And my mom used to be in the audience
So
singing,
what would you guys rather see?
Get him,
John
son.
Jones fight Aspinall or
And
Pereira go for three-weight
I
world
felt her
champion?
today. I really felt my mom today. She was here with me.
Because there's that whole storyline too, where we kind of forget about what Jones wants and we give Pereira this crazy opportunity. Nobody's ever even tried it. Conor couldn't sniff a belt at a third weight class. They could have gifted it to him, but there was no realm where he would have been in contention for it.
There's so many
Pereira
questions.
could
There's
probably
so many
win,
things that could happen
or
as
could
far as
potentially
Alex and Tom.
win the heavyweight title
It's
and still beat other
I
heavyweights.
can't even think about it right now. All I want to do right now is take my team out
Aside from
and put
John,
them in the
who's the
big
other
stage
good
in UFC
grappler or
because these guys
wrestlers at
deserve it.
heavyweight?
They deserve
That's part of
ice
John's
cold beer or
reasoning for
whatever they
moving up,
want
because he knew the
because
heavyweight
they
division was weak
have
in the
really
grappling
committed
department.
to me so much. My team is an amazing group of men, amazing group, and that's all I want right now is just see them happy.
I want to see shit I've never seen before. I've never seen a three-weight world champion. I'd be rooting for Jones, but if Alex won, I'd be like, holy fuck, we've seen it now.
With Pereira?
Yeah, I mean, he won 2 years in a row and headlining here, and then you just won here. So
The one thing that's really cool is that I'm noticing that the fans are starting to shift. They're like, wait a minute, this Pereira fight is absolutely massive as well, and that's cool. I'm glad that you guys are seeing it.
So two quick ones. You talked about your team
I
being
don't really see
a
that.
mess,
I mean,
so
I
you
think
and
it.
your team
I don't see
obviously
that at all. I see the fans
one of the guys that
completely
was leading
spamming him Tom Aspinall comments and duck
Davis Ferguson.
emojis.
I mean, I think the world would love to see that guy come to MMA. You
Even I've
interpret
seen
him
fighters
as
that
a
John has
contestant
beef
in
with
tomorrow?
trolling him
Gable
with
has
duck
everything that it
emojis,
takes.
chicken emojis.
One of his first days at practice, one of my teammates got injured sparring with me, and Gable was like, I'll go in. I'm like, Gable, you might want to learn how to block and defend yourself first. It can be a lot more difficult than what it seems, but that let me at that moment know that he is very game. I need him in the face at one of his very first practices. He ate it, and he looked like a little kid, like he just developed a new toy. He's gonna be scary. He's gonna be very scary when he decides to do MMA. He knows how to make men appear very
How
weak.
old is Gable Stevenson? Can Gable Stevenson eventually become a UFC heavyweight champion? I feel like he's still really young.
Learns a little about jiu-jitsu. It's not a matter of if he'll become a UFC champion. It's when he'll be a UFC champion.
Like, not that we've seen John Jones mentor anybody, but if he goes that route and works with someone like Gable Stevenson, or stays a part of Gable Stevenson's training and upbringing.
Sound bites is what everyone likes hearing. The big sound bite this week was you saying you wouldn't want to do business with Tom Aspinall. You said he's an asshole.
Is that the third or fourth Tom Aspinall?
Kind of laughed about that, and even the U.S. broadcast was saying, like, what is he talking about? Tom Aspinall's the nicest guy on the planet. He never disrespects John. He says nice things about John.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
So what specifically has he said or done to make him an asshole?
There's just a lot of people on his nuts right now, and
but what has he done though?
Coming up with John Jones T-shirts, buying a little duck, and just the little shit that he does. He's annoying to me. He's annoying to me, and that's my own personal. He annoys me. I get to you guys, you find it entertaining, but I find him annoying, and I just don't like him. And at the end of the day, if I give him the opportunity to fight me, I want to be so compensated. I want to say it, I want that fuck you money, honestly. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Or else, my life is perfect without him. I don't need him at all, and he needs me. And that's a good place to be in a negotiation.
So yeah, John's just negotiating in public with the Tom Aspinall situation. Anyone saying he's afraid of him? No. Just knows he can make so much more money with Pereira versus if his hand is forced and he has to fight Aspinall. He just wants money. Again, you want to go to work on Monday for $1,000, or you want to go work on Monday for $150? Or you're going to take the 150 because you're a fucking idiot, or you have your respect for what fans are saying or your coworkers. No, you want the highest paid, easiest route. Highest paid, easiest route. And that's not saying Pereira is even an easy route. I think Pereira could surprise people. Same as Stipe. Stipe surprised me tonight in the grappling that he survived. Got his guard back a time or two.
And it just lets me know that I'm doing it right. I'm doing it my way. It should only make sense to me. It should only feel good to me. And right now it does. I know I didn't.
But yeah, I don't think the fans are going to let him out of this Aspinall fight.
Down here in the middle. I know you said that you'd be willing to walk away from negotiations if your demands are.
This is the fifth Aspinall question.
But have you set a timeline for those when you want those negotiations to have been concluded by?
I don't even want to call them demands. You know, I don't want to put the wrong energy in the room when it comes to Dana. I respect Dana so much. He changed my life completely. I don't want to call it demands. I'm not demanding anything. I'm not trying to run anything. I'm not trying to boss anyone. I'm just clearly like letting people know my intentions. And whenever Dana wants me to fight is when I'll fight. You know, as long as
just pay that man his money. Pay that man his money. Just pay John Jones a bag. Him and Aspinall is such a big fight, you'll make the money back. And again, don't have to give it all in a guarantee. Give him a bigger pay-per-view bonus. Give him some incentive deals.
Very quick questions. Is there a dollar figure that equals fuck you money?
A very, very high number. It's going to be a very high number for sure.
Don't want to define very high yet.
No, I'm not. I've learned over the years not to really get into finances publicly. But I want to be compensated to the point where if I won or lost, that it really wouldn't matter.
And the last question, you have mentioned obviously that you would like to fight for the BMF belt.
So last question I have is, why are you ducking Max Holloway?
I like that. You're funny.
No,
I'll give the guys a sound back. A sound bite. Quack, quack, quack.
John over here.
John, I know you're a big LeBron James fan, and he's in his late 30s, still dominating the sport. 4 straight triple doubles. You're in your late 30s, still the goat. I just want to know what is it that you guys have in common from a mental perspective that allows you guys to still perfect your craft even into your
LeBron James question. Go home
I don't know.
with that
I don't
bullshit.
know what it is, but I'm grateful to have whatever it is.
Someone asked Stipe that too. Like, you and LeBron James, you guys talk? Stipe was like, I don't even have his fucking phone number. Why are you asking me a LeBron James question?
Far from perfect human being, but I do love God, and I feel like He loves me.
Like, if you're gonna ask clickbait questions, at least ask clickbait questions within the realm of combat sports. What are you gonna ask him next? About Drake or Diddy? Fucking idiot.
My team, the men in my life, I have extraordinary men in my
You
life.
listen to Drake music. Is there anything you want to say to Drake right now?
Strong enough to know how to ask for help. I know that we were designed to be together and to have.
That is funny that I noticed John Jones did not come out to the Diddy song, I'm Coming Home.
Powerful, intelligent men, and I think that's why I'm still here.
John over here. To your right. Down here.
You're like to the right. I'm like,
yeah, sorry.
You're other right, John.
Francis Ngannou paid a little tribute to what you said after his fight. I think he came on social media. He says, "Jones looked great out there tonight. Congrats, Johnny boy. I see you." Is that a fight that maybe interests you? Like, obviously, Pereira is #1 on your list, but is that one that maybe interests you more than even Tom?
I'm here to talk UFC business tonight.
So I mean, Turki Al Sheikh has been able to get these kinds of fights done in boxing. Maybe he can make it happen in the UFC.
Whatever Uncle Dana tells me.
I also wanted to ask as well, because obviously you're someone who's considered, the greatest of all time in your sport. Another GOAT was on last night in Dallas. Were you able to catch any of the Mike Tyson fight, and what was your thoughts on him getting back in the ring at 58?
I did catch the fight. It was hard to see him.
It was so bad to watch. It was so bad.
Jones Jr. kept saying it, man. Those legs aren't working.
He had that wonky leg, Mike. Mike had a wonky leg.
Really sold it, with the highlight videos of him training and his physique. I wish he went and showed us his ass. That was a little wild. I'm like, Mike, you didn't have to do that. Mike's a freak, I bet, dude. I'm like, Mike, you old nasty old.
UFC. Next time you have a post-fight press conference, turn the fucking ads off. Turn the ads off. Every 2 minutes, another ad. You guys have enough money. You don't need the fucking pennies from the ads.
For that part alone, I thank him. I'm sure a lot of us thank him.
And any respect to Jake for not, because I mean, when Holyfield came back, Belfort went and just kind of iced him in very quick fashion. And I think Jake probably could have done that later on in the fight, but he opted to let Mike get to the bell.
I don't think Jake gave him mercy. I think Jake played it smart. I think that's what it was. I think Jake knows.
Yes, Jake did not give Mike mercy. He was afraid of getting knocked out.
While you're ahead, let's coast. Let's get through this fight, because Mike can drop any moment one shot. His legs weren't working, but that upper body was still moving, and those punches were still swinging. And I didn't view it as Jake giving him mercy. Jake coasted through that like an intelligent fighter would. Sir.
I saw yesterday there's a video you were praying with Charles Oliveira, and today on the backstage you guys were exchanging really beautiful words to each other. How did this relation did start? When did you met him? Why did you guys were praying yesterday? How did you guys get kind of closer?
I'm not sure if we met each other in the past, but yesterday we were on the same Sprinter van heading to a press conference, and I could see that he was having a rough weight cut, and he just was real quiet, and he was just, he looked like he was hurting, and everybody on the bus, we were all laughing, and we were all, speaking English and everything, and I just wanted to include him, and so I just looked back and I was like, bro, you may not be feeling good, but you look great. That suit looks great. I was just probing at him to try to like just start a relationship, and his translator started communicating for us, and that big old smile he has and everything, and I was like, man, this guy's cool. And then at the press conference, I realized how much people love him, and then we were watching it. Me and my wife were watching Embedded, and my wife's like, John, he's a Christian too. He's a Christian as well. And I was like, oh really? And so then I liked him even more. And when I saw him, next. I asked my pastor. I was like, hey, would you pray for both of us? And my pastor was like, of course. We came together and we bowed our heads in, and even though he probably didn't understand anything we were saying, we had that agreement right then and there. And after we were done praying, I was like, Team Cristo, which is Christ for Portuguese, and he understood that. And we just had a kind of an agreement that we're both going to represent. We're going to do our absolute best. And when the pastor was praying, he actually was saying that the victory is already yours. The victory is won. It is yours. And I believe him when he says that. And so now it was our job to do our part and give it all we had. And when I heard that he won, because we turned the TV off in my locker room, all my guys were watching the fights. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? But anyways, when I heard that he won, it was one piece of the puzzle that was already written. And then I just knew I had to go out there and do my part.
No, just the last question.
John, here.
Yo, give this man one. Well, I'm going to answer your question.
I've
What's
been
up?
trying.
Come
I
on.
mean, I have at least 50 questions.
I'm not going to answer 50 questions.
But I'll ask just one. You proved again that you're greatest of all time tonight. It was an excellent performance, pretty wise, pretty patient. It was a perfect performance. I really have a lot of questions, but I only ask one. You had a great career, like best fighter ever for sure. What was the most memorable moment throughout your career? The most like important moment?
Tonight was Stephen Bonner, Mauricio Shogun Hua, and tonight was incredibly special. Finishing DC it's up there too. Stephen Bonner was the first star that I fought as a young man. Everybody around me told me that I was no one and I couldn't do it, and I had to really work on meditation and bringing up my self-esteem for the first time, and like beat Stephen Bonner. Mauricio Shogun beating Shogun taught me that I could be great. Kid from a small town, never good at anything, became a champion. DC,
Again, like I was talking about earlier, at what point can John Jones,
is the biggest moment
with things he's done,
like I said earlier,
possibly redeem himself?
in front of our president and let the world know how truly
Like, is there ever forgiveness for domestic violence or drugs? And the thing with the pregnant lady, it seems like he tries. The same thing I heard that someone asked him the question again of, is he a good person being bad or a bad person being good? And he was like, I'm just a sinner, like all of us. And that's very true. So at what point do people start to look past those things?
Just speaking of the fight tonight,
If they're even able
watched the
to.
clip a bunch of times on the
Like when I see Jones, I definitely see a guy trying.
No, I didn't see it land, but I felt it.
Yeah, did you feel like that it was a clean?
And you got to respect him for that, for trying.
Quebec's Eastern Townships.
A lot of those things are very tough to come back from. And here we are with John Jones sitting at the press conference. He came back from drug suspensions, from all types of legal troubles. You got to respect him for their resilience.
When I hit, or he felt his rib, but I hit clean, really clean.
You didn't see that he was down until he turned around and then faced him. That's when you came in, right?
Yeah. With the new rules, I wanted to kick right away, but I'm like, let me not mess this up. And I went in for the punch.
Got to respect him for his resilience.
I really want to take the moment also to just say thank you to Stipe Miocic. Thank you for being a first responder. Absolutely love you. I love our law enforcement. I love being an American. I love our military. I love our firefighters. Our nurses and our doctors. I appreciate you, even though I did not like you during this event. I appreciate you and I respect you so much. Thank you to you, your
And you gotta like that he gave a lot of respect to Stipe after the fight. He's giving a lot of respect to Stipe now.
I'm gonna put these funky shades back on. What's up?
I don't know what the fuck those sunglasses are, but when you're John Jones, I guess you could pull them off. Alright, great UFC, great night of fights. I stream myself to sleep. I'll definitely pop on tomorrow. I'm gonna try to go live every day and do something. Bullshit with people about fights. I appreciate everybody who joined me. And there's another one in the books. I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget, like, follow, subscribe.